Chapter 5.
Woo!
Team Fisher comes together right now over Anarchy. We last saw our heroes finishing up a fashion show, and Xavier saying that he wants to chat up Kip. Lythander goes into protective boyfriend mode, but the crew goes back to the jail to talk to Kip regardless. Well, Jim and Anarchy enter the jail. Lythander tries to get the jump on Kip, to which Lythander was treated with a Falcon Punch! He's fine, we swear. The team talks to Kip about talking to Xavier. Kip agrees to meet with him, and Team Fisher offers to tag along like the good pals they all are. Meanwhile, Anarchy has been feeling a whole lot better lately and basically has decided to give Sleep the middle finger because she can. She goes upstairs to meditate, only for some delinquent to touch her holy symbol, whom had received a good Falcon Punch! That delinquent was Lythander. We swear, he's fine. As it would turn out, Lythander has been using Anarchy's holy symbol to pray every night like the dork that he is. Anarchy was at first concerned that he might have been tampering with it, but allows him to pray with her on future nights and promises to keep it a secret between the two of them. The next morning, the team splits up to pass out the posters. Anarchy goes to the east to hang up posters, Jim goes to the west, and Lythander goes on another date with Kip, because for some reason, Kip said yes twice. On the east side, people seem to find Anarchy pretty, and her friendly demeanor convinces people to help her hang up posters. She even got Jacques and the jeweler to put one up, though she may end up giving Jacques free art commissions later if asked in exchange. On the way, she runs into Xavier, who is having a hard time getting people to pay for potholes. She tries to help him by giving him good luck, and this seems to make him happy. She told him that she would see him again that night with Kip, Jim, and Lythander. Anarchy friendship unlocked, Xavier. Meanwhile, on the west side, Jim fits in like a car tire oil grease. That is to say, he's sliding on by, making his way downtown, walking past, and he's homebound. He convinced a lot of good folks to hang up posters, though he maybe sort of promised that the party would involve humiliating the east side. This did get him an audience with homeless Tim, though. Tim, jokingly, said that it would be funny to board up the east side wall, and that was something that made Jim laugh. Jim had a fantastic day on the west side. Jim friendship unlocked. Homeless Tim. And of course, Lythander spends half the day in a bar trying to steal his cop boyfriend's wallet, and then walks over to the East Side Market. If Kip hasn't caught on to the fact that Lythander's a thief by now, then I don't know when he will. Lythander boyfriend unlocked! Kip! That night, the group meets outside the Craven house to talk to Xavier. There was a lot of yelling about what is being called swampies. And Kip may have a target over his head because people think he's sus because the town was sus of his family. Eventually, Jim breaks up the fighting, but also awakens Lady Craven. Xavier is now grounded, and the group sets out more determined to find swampies and protect Kip. Anarchy friendship relocked, Xavier. The next day, the group splits up again to keep good face with the east and west sides. Jim goes to the west, Lythander to the east, and Anarchy is Kip's small bodyguard. Lythander is kind of down that he didn't get to be the big, strong bodyguard, but Anarchy was a good choice, right? Right? Okay, so, homeless Tim apparently wasn't joking. He did think that boarding up the wall would be funny, and probably did it. Once Anarchy came in like a wrecking ball, an earthquake came on and caused the crack to split more. Jim went into worried dad mode and tried to make a dash over the crack to the east side. He got stuck in the crack, and now Kip and Anarchy are trying to come to his rescue. Hopefully the group doesn't give Lythander another heart attack. This poor man can't leave those people alone for 5 minutes, I swear. Oh, by the way, Jim actually was able to talk to Kyle without punching him. And maybe the Swampies used to be town people? Yet to be determined. And with that recap in mind, we come into our current session. I give to you the cast of the Siblings podcast, starting with none other than Kitty Doe.
Oh, hi. I'm Kitty Doe, and I make YouTube animations. But tonight, and for tonight only, I am Lythander, who doesn't make YouTube videos. He has a habit of, he'll leave his career to everyone else's imaginations.
Also, it's her birthday today, so subscribe to her. Give her that birthday present.
Give her a birthday sub.
Probably be 2 weeks late.
Give her a 2 week, Birthday.
It's okay.
It's
Well,
fine.
then-
Birthday today.
Well, then if you haven't subscribed to her, then clearly you're a monster who didn't give her a birthday gift yet, and you gotta give her a belated one. Come on.
And next I give you Jack.
Everyone, I'm Jack, or Pernell Animation. I make cartoons on YouTube as well, and you go subscribe to me as well, because I do cool, funny things. Oh, and I will be playing everyone's favorite grumpy old man, Jim, best friend of homeless Tim.
Certainly not least, Gina.
Hello, I am Gina from Gina's Funky Music. I make funky music, and tonight I will be your local stone small cleric person, child, thing, named Anarchy.
And with that being said, we come back to the present, where the earthquake, after going for a good half a minute, has finally subsided. Lythander, balancing a ridiculous amount of East Side goods, since he didn't seek shelter, he instead tried to prevent certain things from falling. Jim, with his foot stuck in the crack,
Ow.
and Anarchy and Kip, who are there to try and give him aid out of this crackception that's happened here. We start with Jim and Anarchy and Kip.
Oh my god, are you alright?
Well, I'm fine. My foot may not be, but yeah, I'm stuck.
We can get your foot out of there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Kip, so do you want me to grab the bottom of the foot? You try to pull him up, or?
I think it would be good to get his weight off of his feet so that way we can try to get his foot pulled out and see if it's going to come out easily or if we need to chip away at some of the rock around it.
Okay.
I imagine you're going to be able to help him take weight off of his feet. You seem strong.
Yeah, maybe a little too strong.
Yeah, please don't rip off my foot.
I'll do my best. I would never do that, but
You're just trying to take his weight off of his feet. You're not trying to pull him out.
But wall.
I saw the wall.
I know.
Wait, what wall?
Nothing.
What wall? What happened to the wall?
We'll explain later.
All right, Anarchy, make a strength check to help get Jim off of his feet a little bit.
So it's a 9.
All right, well, not a hard check. Not a hard check. You are nice and gentle. You're just mostly helping him, giving him the ability to be leaning on his other foot and to be leaning on you so that he doesn't fall over and twist his leg at a funny angle while he's trying to keep his weight off of that other foot. Kip is down on his knees now, trying to see if he can reach down around Jim's foot to try and help nudge it out of the crack, but he seems to be coming up that Jim's foot is pretty stuck in here. So he is instead going to look at you after a second and ask if you've got some sort of smaller hammer or something that he could potentially use to try and chip away at the...
Hey, I have a spear. It's pointy. It's on my back. Will that work?
I feel like it would be a bad idea to start... It's rather long and cumbersome. I feel like my control on it would be not as good.
Kip, I have a scimitar that I keep in my bag for cutting fruit.
Do you have a scimitar for fruit?
Well, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's like a fancy sword. My parents gave it to me when I was a kid.
Why are you hitting zombies with a stick?
Cause I'm better at it, and the stick's more efficient. Then what? You want me to get zombie blood all over my nice scimitar? This thing's for food.
But you could die?
It's for food.
I'm not going to start hacking into earth with a sword at your feet either. I have a shovel back at my place that I can go get. And he turns his head to look further down the crack towards his house, where it's pretty visible since the prison is the first thing that's actually built over the crack, other than the political building, which is on the far side of the city, where you can see looking down the crack where it's not like the entire building has collapsed or anything, but its foundation, the crack runs all the way up through the pre-existing crack that was already in Craven, and it's now pulled the two halves of his building at the foundation, there's an extra good foot of space under the prison, so it's definitely shifted the whole foundation of his building and caused damage to the building itself that you can see from this angle.
Oh my
and
god,
his
your
shoulders drop
grandmother!
slightly. Before he does, he scrambles to his feet and shouts that he'll be right back and starts sprinting down the crack.
Do you need... His grandmother! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Anarchy's now on the floor, visibly frustrated, nearly crying. Jim, would you be okay here for a couple more minutes?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll just sit here.
I can lift
not
heavy
much
objects.
happening.
If his grandma's buried under there, I should really go help.
Hey, you should do what you feel is right. Go save that old lady.
And Anarchy goes run saves the old lady.
Save my future
And
girlfriend.
Jim just kind of sits there, kind of bored, just like.
All right, Anarchy, you go running after Kip, but Kip seems to be quickly outpacing. That boy runs fast, and
That's
he is
valid.
sprinting.
I'll get there when I get there.
All right, Lythander,
Yo.
who
Hey.
is balancing things. Are you beginning to put these things back, or are you just
Yes.
pocketing them?
No, Lythander is putting them all back where they belong.
There's some general commotion in the market square as people are getting themselves situated, looking around. There's lots of murmured questions of what happened, what was that, like, what, an earthquake, really? A couple of people grumbling about the occasional earthquakes that have happened before and that this is nothing. There's some mixed responses to it going on around you, but it seems to have annoyed some people and scared some people.
All right, take a breath. Assess the situation, and Lythander's gonna be, because he doesn't know, he was too busy trying to catch items, so he didn't see the flare go up.
Nope.
He's going to stick around the marketplace to continue to help people get their stands righted.
All right. You're going to stick around the marketplace. You're helping people get their stands righted. Make a perception check for me.
Sure thing. Perception's Lythander's favorite. 13.
So, Anarchy, you are eventually getting to the jailhouse. Now, you are in this crack that technically the walls of it, they're slightly sloped, but it is a little bit of a 2.5, 3 foot wall, so it does take you just a little bit of effort to go get yourself pulled up over it, but you are able to get yourself out of the crack. By the time you get into the prison, of course, Kip is already there. Things look to be a mess in there. Actually, the desk is on its back. All of its drawers are open or pulled out. There's papers scattered all over the floor. His sword is missing off the wall. Every single cell door is open. And you can hear Kip in one of the boarded up rooms, the far room that you know his grandmother tends to sleep in.
Kip, is she alright? Does she need medical attention? She runs kind of over. Well, she walks carefully kind of over because it's messy.
So we'll just say, for sake of argument, that you got out of the crack on the west side, so that way you enter on the west side, which is the same side as the grandmother's bedroom is on. That way you don't have to cross the bridge, which is still technically standing, but again, it's got support pegs on each side of what is a brand new crack that has formed that's about a foot wide. So, of course, those foundational support beams have moved another foot apart, which has put everything at some weird angles and put strain on the wood at angles that it was never supposed to be bent to. So the bridge is still technically standing.
Wow. Of all the things to be standing.
Oh, the building is still technically standing, but again, now, of course, the building's entire foundation has split and moved a little bit apart, so I wouldn't recommend going to the upstairs.
Oh, that sucks.
Oof! You go back into the bedroom, and you can see where Kip has already pulled the mattress off of her. She seems to be on the ground. She does seem injured. And Kip is currently trying to assess the damages and figure out what it is that needs to happen. She's not awake right now.
God. Can Anarchy do kind of like a medical assessment? Kip, I know some medicine. I can at least inspect the body. See if she's all right.
Kip opens his mouth. He doesn't seem to find anything to say to you. He gives a nod after a second. He does already have his hands on an injury on her arm that was bleeding. He seems to be getting pressure onto it and trying to wrap it up already with a spare shirt.
All right.
Go
Shall
ahead.
inspect this woman?
Make a medicine check.
Let's do it. Come on, Anarchy. Yes! Good! From the
Yeah?
dice thing? Oh, yeah. We got 23.
Oh, nice! You go over to start inspecting and see what's up. She is breathing. She seems to be alive. There are already bruises forming. She is old and fragile. She seems to have primarily landed on her right side, which is why her arm is gashed open. You can tell that she fell into the nightstand when she fell over, presumably due to the earthquake and the ground shaking. So her entire right side seems to be bruising. She's probably got some damage to her right hip, you're imagining, and thankfully, her head doesn't seem to be bleeding, though she does have a bruising forming around her temple and everything, so she did hit her head pretty hard on the ground. But she is alive.
Does she seem stable?
She does seem stable, yes.
Okay, that's good.
But this is going to be one heck of an injury to be trying to wade through and figure out.
Oh boy. Okay, the good news, she's stable. The bad news, she's got a lot of injuries. Okay, there's a couple things to do. I do know how to heal to a degree. We can do that. If you happen to have any kind of... If you have like something like an herbalism kit, also... Actually, Anarchy remembers she has still Kip's pink flask of minor healing.
A minor healing potion.
We can use this!
He glances over. You didn't use that.
No, I have a lot of healing capabilities myself, but I think this is a good time to use it. It was yours.
He nods after a second. I would appreciate that.
All right, let's use this on Kip's grandmother.
All right, get that potion uncorked, get that administered to the grandmother topically. You can see where as you are pouring this potion out and using it on her, where bruises are starting to fade, you can see when Kip ends up lifting his hands, moving the cloth away where the wound that's on her arm seems to be closing up. This potion seems to be having a decently strong effect on her.
Thank goodness. Oh my god. We should get her to lie down. Well, she is lying down, but pillows, things, you know. I'm so sorry, Kip.
Lets out a breath before giving a nod and looking around the room. He goes over, gets one of the mattresses that seems to be up against the wall, kicks aside some stuff like a knocked down candle stand and other stuff that was in the room here, kicks it aside so that he can get the mattress laid down flat on the ground, and goes over to start trying to move his grandmother carefully over to the mattress.
Do you think I can inspect the grandmother one more time just to make... Well, actually, did that already count with that, or is there anything further I could inspect?
You feel pretty confident that the healing potion should have handled everything. You didn't see any signs when you lifted her eyelids to check out her pupils or anything. You didn't see any signs of like severe traumatic damage or anything, just hard physical damage.
I'll check her for a concussion when she wakes. Or anything else. I'm so sorry, Kip. I didn't know it would do that, and...
This isn't your fault.
Are you sure? Because I hit that wall, an earthquake.
I don't think your hammer caused an earthquake.
Do you know what did? Like, what could it be then?
Not entirely sure.
Is this building stable? I gotta see the stable before I go help Jim. I don't want you being crushed under anything. Actually, you should probably move her outside. Do you want me to help you?
He looks around the building, seeming to try and assess it visually for a bit before he slowly lets out a breath and nods in agreement that maybe getting the grandmother outside of the building would be safer just in case.
All right. I'll lift one end, you lift the other.
All right, make a strength check for me.
Let's hope not to drop Grandma.
Oh, Kip!
Oh no. We're
What-
not lifting her.
He's not feeling good. He's not
We
feeling
both
good.
not. Because I got 4.
I botched, so...
I did too. I got 1.
Oh, God. Oh,
Plus 3, so 4.
Yeah, that's 4. Okay, new plan. I will carry her like bridal style. You carry the mattress.
Kip runs a hand through his hair, only a little bit exasperated. Not at you, he just seems a little bit worked up right now. Before he gives a nod.
I carry alligators and Jim. It should be fine.
All right, make another strength check.
10.
Okay, you are capable of picking her up and carrying her out. You are a strong stone warrior. And Kip
Also, they were crocodiles.
and Kip can move the mattress to get it outside. So you two have successfully relocated the grandmother outside of the building on the west side.
And Anarchy gently places the grandmother down her, bending her knees for good support. Make sure she's steadily put down very slowly onto the mattress.
All right. I'm grabbing tools. Going back inside.
I'm gonna go help Jim.
All right, I'll be back in a second. All right, so it's about 15 minutes later, Jim, when those two are coming back over, jumping back down into the crack, so that way they can start to dig out your foot. It does take a little bit of time. Your ankle is sore, but they do safely dig you out. Minimal
Hey, yeah.
yanking.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Kip, is your grandmother all right?
She's stable.
She's fine. Thank you.
Can you walk, Jim?
Let's see. Jim tries taking a step with that foot. Sure.
Make a constitution check.
Uh-oh.
Oh, nat 20!
Oh, you feel fine.
Plus 2, 22.
You actually think that you could have just yanked your foot out of that crack to begin with, but these guys, they were worried about... You don't even know what. You feel so fine.
Oh, yeah, I've been through worse. I'm fine, guys. Oh, here, I thought I was gonna have to, cure myself or something.
Thank goodness.
I'm
Glad you're
glad to
fine.
see you're feeling fine.
Yeah, thanks for the save, guys. Lythander. Guys, where's Lythander?
Oh God, he's still on the east side. Jim, can you get him? I gotta go back to Kip's grandmother.
I'm going. Jim rushes to the east side to find Lythander.
And
Okay,
Anarchy is
you
going
do
to
have...
Grandma.
You're going to Grandma? Okay. You do have to get out of the crack. How much of a hurry are you in when you jump that wall?
He's going he's trying to take it safe, but also trying to get there fast, you know?
All right, so you are trying to take it safe so you don't do anything particularly stupid or overly,
No, he's gonna climb that
Heavy or
carefully.
dexterous.
He just almost got hurt. He's gonna take it a little carefully today.
That's fair. All right. So you get yourself out of the crack safely and you start heading over towards the east side to look for Lythander. Where do you want to be checking for him?
He's gonna check the market first. See if anyone's seen him.
Make a perception check for me.
Sure thing. 13.
13. It does not take you very long at all as you're asking around, see if anyone's seen him before people are like, yeah, he's been bouncing around helping people right their stands. And you do find him helping somebody fix a wheel on the side of one of their carts that got knocked crooked.
See, there's nothing to fuss about. These things are built to be destroyed and put back together.
Oh, Lythander.
When they don't get destroyed.
Oh my god, you're okay.
Hey, Jim.
I was so worried about you, kid.
You're worried about him?
You worried about me?
Yeah.
Oh, Lythander looks around before kind of nervously putting a hand behind his head. Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Hey,
Sure thing.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do now.
Is Anarchy okay?
Oh yeah, Anarchy's fine. She's with Kip right now. They just dug me out of a crack that I was stuck in.
Oh, okay. Sorry you got stuck. I didn't know you. I would have. I'm sorry.
I didn't expect you to know. You're busy.
Well, I mean, I'm not too busy to help. If I had known, I would have. I'm sorry. Jeez.
It's fine, kid. See, I'm all good.
Jim, make a perception check.
Ooh. 11.
Yes, okay.
Let's see here.
I'm scared by that. Okay.
Anarchy.
Uh-oh.
You were going back up towards the prison?
Yes, to make sure, just to watch over Kip's grandmother.
All right. Kip was walking with you to go back to check on his grandmother again. Before Kip does get pulled aside to by some people in the town who also need some help, and he is, local guard and police force and everything, and since you're going back to check on his grandmother, he feels inclined to help these individuals.
Kip, would you like me to go with you, or would you like me to look after your grandmother?
Personally would rather somebody be with my grandmother. She's on a mattress.
Okay. Be safe,
in
okay?
the middle of the street. But.
You should find, if you possible, find Lythander and Jim. I think they're somewhere on the east side. I know I was supposed to kind of follow you around today. I'm sorry.
He glances sideways at the west side individuals who were getting his attention to get some help on things before pressing his lips together and giving a nod. I'll see if I can find them.
Thanks. Please be safe.
I will. This seems to exasperate the couple of people on the west side who were trying to get him to come over to help with a couple of collapsed items over on the west side when he says that he has to go find someone on the east side first, but he waves a hand a little bit dismissively towards them and says that he'll be over shortly. Before heading to the east side to look for Lythander and Jim. Alright, so you are spending your time with the grandmother, making sure that the grandmother is fine.
Yeah, just occasionally checking, making sure she's stable. Any signs of further brain damage or anything. Make sure she's not any signs of concussion. See if she's no seizures or anything like that.
She hasn't had any seizures or anything, but she also hasn't woken up yet.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be down for the count right now.
Constantly checking vitals, heart rate.
Her vitals and her heart rate seem to have settled into a very calm. They are a little bit low. They're kind of hard to find. You have to really search for them, but they are steady.
Okay. She's doing these regular checks.
Regular checks?
Oh yeah, it's almost nonstop. She's constant. Occasionally she'll take 2-minute breaks. Just eventually she starts to calm down if she's seeing it's stable for a long period of time. And she might take 5-minute intervals and extend the time depending on how stable she thinks the person is.
All right.
Just to allow rest.
All right. Sounds good. Lythander and Jim.
Hello.
Hey.
Everyone make a perception check. Everyone that's on the... No, yeah, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone perception check. Okay.
Everyone perception check.
4.
Oh, nice, Jim. A nice clean 17.
19.
Wow. So, Jim and Anarchy, not Lythander.
No.
Jim and Anarchy and Kip, you are all aware as there's some commotion on the side of the marketplace near near enough to the prison that Anarchy, even though you're on the west side of the prison, you can see it across the crack where the commotion is generally happening, where an arrow has gone flying and hit somebody. Somebody has in fact been shot, and there is an arrow sticking out of their shoulder, and they are screaming, they are angry, they are cursing because there is an arrow sticking out of their shoulder.
Oh dear gosh.
Oh.
Is it close to the grandmother?
No, it's on the east side. You guys are technically on the west side.
Lythander, we should check that out.
Check what out?
Anarchy goes over to inspect that
There's a
situation.
guy over there who's shot. What if it's Kip?
Lythander runs.
Anarchy goes over to inspect.
Jim's running too.
You're dashing?
He's gonna bonus action dash too. Run, dash, bonus action dash.
Lythander outpaces you, Jim. He
Yeah.
just kind of starts sprinting.
Kind of figures a kid would outpace an old fat man.
Anarchy's trying to find the safest way across that she can.
All right, do you want to go down through the crack, or do you want to try and use the bridge inside the building?
Oh god. She's gonna have to try to go through the crack, because I don't think that bridge is very stable right now.
All right, you are going down through the crack. It takes you a couple of rounds to get yourself lowered into the crack, cross the crack, and get yourself pulled out of the crack carefully. So Lythander is the first one there. Lythander getting there about the same time as Kip, who was sprinting up as well. It is not Kip who has been shot as you are getting over there. It is what seems to be one of the merchants that has a stand. You actually recognize him as the individual that you did not cross so favorably the first day that you walked around the market square.
Lythander's going to immediately put pressure around the wound.
He screams at you not to touch him.
Oh, shut up.
Do not touch me! That hurts!
Yeah,
He smacks at you.
I'm lucky you're falling unconscious from pain.
His hand is making contact with you. It does not hurt you at all, but he is now smacking at you and trying to push you away from him. Kip is getting there with a much calmer. Maurice, you need to take a breath. It's going to be fine. I've been shot! I can see that. You need to take a breath. This is something that Jane can handle at the hospital. Tell this lunatic to stop touching me! He's just trying to help you, Maurice. Why don't you let us walk you to the hospital?
Has Jim arrived yet, or no?
Yes. Jim,
Is
you are
Anarchy
now
there?
getting there. Anarchy is still one turn lagged.
Oof.
All right.
It's not. Oh, it's not. Kip, I thought you got shot. Oh my god, it's this guy. I mean, oh no, it's terrible. He got shot. Oh dear.
Lythander glares over, not helping.
I can cure wounds. You want me to cure wounds?
Yes! What? Are you a doctor?
Wait. We don't want to cure his wound with an arrow in it.
Well, then pull the arrow out and I'll cure him.
We could cause more internal damage.
There's screaming and sudden commotion as a second arrow comes flying through the air and hits Kip.
Oh,
Shit. Why isn't Anarchy there?
hey!
Anarchy, you are starting to arrive now with the second round of commotion, but the crowd is kind of hard to be pushing your way through.
By the
Because
way,
people are now scrambling and pushing at each other and
Please
trying
move
to run
aside!
away.
I'm a
There
trained
is
medic!
chaos that is now erupting in the market square. There is screaming and panic and commotion.
Anarchy's just gonna keep trying shouting she's a medic and just like hopefully people get the memo.
Let's see. Make a... we'll call it make a persuasion check.
Okay. Woohoo! Good persuasion! You kidding? 22, not 20.
Oh, okay. That does seem to be having an effect. The crowd seems to be hearing you as you're shouting that you're the medic. And while they're still panicked and in chaos, which makes it very hard for them to be responding in, very rational ways, they are relatively parting ways and trying to run away and disperse and not knock you over or anything. The people that are immediately around you that can hear you are in some manner acknowledging this. But people are now running for buildings, getting inside. So it's kind of chaos. You can actually see where a few individuals who typically help to run the stands have been knocked over and trampled a little.
When Kip gets hit, can Lythander look at where the arrow is coming from?
Make an investigation check.
Investigation, baby. Okay. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You can look where the arrow is coming from. You had the same general idea as Kip, who is in a little bit of shock, but he hadn't seemed to have moved too much. So it actually makes it very easy to take a look at the angle where the arrow seems to have hit him in the chest. He has taken this arrow to the chest. But to look at the angle that the shaft of the arrow is protruding from him at, and follow it towards the tops of the buildings on the south side of the market.
So Lythander's booking it.
Okay.
Okay, Anarchy. I need each of us.
Am I here yet? First of all?
Yes.
Okay.
You were thinking this.
Anarchy.
Oh my
thank
god,
God you're
is
here.
Kip alright? Is this person alright?
They're both.
No,
They're
I'm not
both
all right.
I can see
Hey,
that.
shut up! We're trying to heal you. Let the medics talk. Okay, so
Am I
each.
dying? Oh my god, I'm dying.
No, you're fine. Sir, sir.
She looks at him and tries to calm down.
Sir, it's okay.
I'm bleeding.
No,
Okay,
look at me.
He's looking at his hands and have
You can
blood from where
talk?
he's put his hands towards his shoulder, and he is definitely going into
Think
shock.
about it. You're breathing. You're breathing. You're talking to me.
Why
Tell
aren't
me
you
what's your name?
talking?
What's your name?
Feeling.
Tell me your name. Tell me your
I'm
name.
dying.
What's your name?
I'm dying.
Tell me your name.
Make a charisma check.
Okay. Jack has Christmas the same though. Oh, nice. 20.
All right. He looks at you after a couple of seconds, seeming to be letting your words affect him slowly, before he looks down at the arrow again. My name's Maurice.
That's a good name. Can you tell me, do you know your day of birth?
Why does that matter?
I just want to make sure that you can talk to me. Make sure that we're aware. Make sure that basically, if you can tell me these sort of things, it tells me kind of how stable you are. Also, it helps keep its mind off things.
Born on the 38th day of autumn.
That's good. Do you have a family?
Yes.
That's also good. Can you tell me about them?
And as she's asked that question, she's gonna do a medical check on him.
All right. Make a medicine check.
It's only an 8.
He's got a piece of wood sticking out of his shoulder. It's bleeding. You would generally assess that he seems to be kind of in this border. He's not totally in shock, but his breathing is still decently shallow. He seems like he's on the cusp of panicked, but you are doing a lot to be keeping him calm.
All right. So at the moment,
Kip,
because
meanwhile,
I'm gonna
how-
determine this is a panic attack
that's
at the moment, and
Okay.
see how he's doing. If I start seeing him fading out from the conversation, then I'll heal him.
and Jim, what are you doing?
Jim is with Kip right now, right?
Right.
He looks at
all
Kip.
4 of you are there.
And he looks at Kip and goes, "Okay, Kip. So I can heal you, but we need to get that arrow out. Okay?"
Kip is staring down at this arrow in his chest. He does not respond to you. He just kind of keeps staring at it before his hands slowly move to come up, and he very carefully breaks off the back end of the arrow. He puts both his hands on the shaft that's sticking out of him so that the hand closest to his chest can hold it steady while the other hand breaks the arrow.
Okay. So I'm not gonna lie to you, buddy. Okay? Pulling this out is gonna hurt. But but I'm gonna cure you right away, and then it won't hurt so much, okay?
Public square.
What? If I need you to talk to me. I know you're the silent, cool type, but I need to make sure you're talking.
Can Anarchy hear this?
Yes, you can hear them. You guys are all standing
Jim,
right next to
call
each
me
other.
over if he's not talking. We'll switch.
Kip, can you talk? Can you speak to me?
He nods after a second.
Kip, I need you to say things. I need you to talk to me now, buddy.
Public, where you can't. One second.
Anarchy gets up. She's gonna do a medical check on Kip right now.
As you're walking over, his mouth does start to move to continue to try and articulate something to you before he does have blood that starts coming out of his mouth.
Kip!
Shit.
Anarchy, we're gonna have to switch. You're the more experienced healer. Can I trust you with Kip?
Okay.
Okay.
Kip looks down again and spits out a good mouthful of blood.
Okay, Anarchy's doing a very quick medical check to make sure it's safe to pull off this arrow. Pull this arrow.
Make a
Jim's
medicine
going
check.
over to the other guy, by the way.
Pardon?
Medicine check, Anarchy.
Okay.
Jim, as you're going over to the other guy, Maurice seems surprised. This woman who was helping him, she just left. She left him.
Maurice,
There is an arrow sticking out of his shoulder.
I'm sorry. It's that I'll take care of you. I'm capable too. That guy's dying.
Are you a
You're
doctor?
not.
He's a doctor!
Yeah.
A deception check. Both of
For me?
you both do it.
Oh, by the way, the medical check's a 16.
The medical check's a 16. As you're examining him, you can definitely tell the arrow has pierced his lung, which is what's causing the blood problem to be coming out of his mouth.
Deception
Generally-
times 9.
Deception's a 9. Oof. You imagine as soon as you pull this out, his lung's gonna start to fill with blood or fluids or something like that. It's not going to be very good.
It's not good. Okay.
You're gonna want to be ready with some sort of ability to help him a little more thoroughly. We'll cross over to Lythander. While you guys think, since you've been trying to talk to these individuals and stuff, we'll cross over to Lythander, who went sprinting off towards the building. Lythander,
Sup?
you go sprinting towards the building that you identified the arrow as having come from. It is a building on the south side of the market. It's 2 stories.
Yeah, I'm gonna start climbing because the window should be open, seeing that an arrow went out.
You are correct. The window is in fact still open that it came from. And you climb this building. You don't have to make any climbing checks to climb at all, do you?
It doesn't specify. It just says that climbing doesn't cost me extra movement. So if you want me to make a dex
Make
check,
a dex check.
he's lucky. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. 19 plus 7.
26.
26.
So, you jump and start climbing. Unfortunately, one of the bricks was loose on this building apparently and came out when your hand grabbed it, but luckily, it didn't cause you to fall or anything. You basically just used the momentum to chuck it behind you and grabbed onto a different spot and kept climbing.
Nice.
Real lucky.
Real lucky.
And you start scaling this wall like a pro. No extra movement. You're
90 feet, baby.
You are terrifying, honestly. the speed with which you run and you just jump and start climbing this wall. But you get up and get yourself thrown into this room. How quickly do you want to enter this room? Do you want to do any things special or intimidating upon
No,
getting
he's
into
just
the
running
room?
in. He wants to run in because he's pretty sure whoever's inside is probably in the process of booking it.
Probably in the process of booking it. Okay, you get into the room. Let's give you a perception check.
Lythander's favorite. 16.
16, that's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
Okay, you look around the room. The room is an empty room. There is a chair that is knocked over on its side that was near this open window. You can see where near the door, there is on the wall near the door, there is a bloody handprint that looks like it was placed and then dragged down the wall. There is a small leather bag with some gold coins that seem to have fallen out of it in the open doorway as well.
Don't care about that. Following the handprint on, I assume, down the stairs. Yeah, Lythander's trying not to waste time.
All right. You go down the stairs and quickly at the bottom of the stairs catch up to where you can hear the coughing in advance before you get to the individual who is working on trying to quickly shamble their way down the hallway, but they are falling and walking crooked, bouncing into these walls. You can see where there's more blood on the walls from where their hands have tried to brace themselves and catch themselves as they are stumbling and collapsing to their knees, coughing.
He's gonna run over and start putting pressure on his wound. Who put you up to it? Who paid you?
The man doesn't have a wound. The man
What?
is just coughing up blood.
Ah, god damn it. Okay. Well, there's only one thing really to do in a situation like that, which is to reach into the back of his throat and try and make him puke.
Try to make him puke?
Yep.
All right,
What?
make a dexterity check.
It's clearly a staged death of some sort. He had a bloody hand, but that doesn't even make sense. Dexterity check?
Yes.
That'd be 11.
11. Starts coughing more. You don't really get him to puke, but he is spluttering blood now on your hand, on your
Okay.
front, and he kind of
I look guilty.
and he falls forward, collapsing into your torso quite a bit. Call it insight, actually.
11.
You hear under his breath as his coughing is dying out a little, as he mutters very quietly, "Damn traitor."
Who?
Make a persuasion check for me.
16 plus 6 is 22.
Very persuasive. Who?
Don't know him.
What's he look like?
Goes by Jay. And the man falls limp against you.
I'm taking your money. Stupid, grubbing money, assassinate. Fucking assassins. He drops him,
Oh.
kicks him in the stomach once before going upstairs. Dirty assassin money.
Well, it does have blood on it right now.
Don't care.
The leather pouch does have blood on it, like I say, as do a few of the coins. But as you're looking, you realize that there's 25 gold and 6 silver in this bag.
Just putting that on the side in case it gets taken. He's gonna put it in his coin purse, though.
Okay.
Leave the bag.
Leave the bag?
Leave the bag.
All right. Jim, you were over helping Maurice.
Yes.
Yes. Maurice, who does not seem terribly convinced that you are a doctor, but kind of begrudgingly realizes that now you're the one that's over there. He guesses, can you just take him to an actual hospital?
You know what? If that makes you more comfortable, I'll take you to a hospital, okay? Okay.
Jim,
Here
I need you to go run and get the Eastside doctor. Tell him it's emergency.
You don't think I should just carry this guy to the hospital?
No, Kip needs a doctor too. We need more people to carry them over.
Okay. Okay, Maurice, or that was his name, right?
Yes.
Maurice, I'm gonna go get a doctor from the hospital. Would that make you more comfortable?
Yes!
Okay.
I'm gonna die.
You're not gonna die.
To die surrounded by poor commoners.
Gee, thanks. You're not like this commoner's gonna save your life, Jim says as he starts to run off to the hospital.
Okay.
Okay. So Anarchy's made a decision.
Yes.
Is Kip on his side first and foremost?
Kip is still standing.
Kip, you're gonna need to lie down.
Can't.
No, you can't sit down.
He spits up some more blood.
Okay. I really need you to lie down. Okay? We're gonna...
And what she's gonna do is right now, she's going to make sure it's gonna be a risk game a little bit. She's going to try to keep him awake and stabilize just talking to him. Well, she's not gonna get him talk. She's gonna just get him to focus on her and constantly, again, checking vitals, making sure he's not blacking out. And if there's any sign that his eyes go lights out, this is when we're gonna do the one hand, with the hand, no, two hands, because she's gonna pull out the arrow at the same time, trying to cast Healing Word as a last-ditch resort effort.
All right, so the nice thing is 5e has really good mechanics in terms of holding actions and everything for certain triggers. So honestly, you can cast the spell because your bonus action doesn't have to happen at the end of your turn. You can cast the spell first, hold it in your hand contingent on when I get the arrow out. So it's basically an instantaneous arrow out cast spell on his wound. There's
beautiful.
No time delay.
We're doing that as a last-ditch effort because ideally we should get proper doctors to look at this. And we'll see if he can stay stable. If it appears as though he's blacking out, we're doing this.
At your request, he is getting himself slowly lowered, though the act of having to try to sit down and say it does cause some amount of bending in his torso, which puts strain on his chest. But even just breathing right now, he's got a punctured lung, so yeah. He's not doing so hot. But you can help him get down onto the ground so that way he's not just standing there anymore. In case he blacks out, he doesn't fall, which is the biggest
Make sure you're
problem.
on your side, okay? The arrow should be facing the shoulder where the arrow is closest. Make sure that's to the sky, okay? Not close to the ground. It'll be easier in case I have to pull it out.
He nods and lays appropriately on the ground. Maurice scoffs slightly. Please, you're a guard. You're fine.
Anarchy just kind of ignores him. It's like, okay, so look at me. I'm going to...
It's gonna be weird, but Anarchy's going to sing to Kip. To get him to focus on something.
So he is laying on his side, as you recommended, leaning forward slightly so that the arrow, which is protruding from his back, is pointed up towards the sky.
All right, Kip, focus on my voice, okay?
He closes his eyes, listening to this and focusing. You can see where his brow.
Open. She stops to say.
All right.
And she continues singing.
Opens his eyes again. He is staring forward, seeming to study a point on the ground. He's very focused on trying to stay awake, but from your general assessment, you think it would be best to try and start slamming him with some heal spells. He does seem like he's kind of tuning out a little bit.
Without pulling the thing out, or with pulling thing out?
Wouldn't generally be a good idea to heal with the object in his chest.
Okay, Kip.
Now, Lythander, this is when you are getting back, because of course before we went over, you basically just ran over, had like 2 rounds of interaction, and are now coming back.
Lythander, get over here! So it should be me.
Lythander is not listening to Anarchy. Everybody's run inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Except Maurice, who is standing there grumbling about the fact that nobody's singing to him. He's gonna walk himself to the hospital.
Lythander's gonna kick him in the head to knock him out.
Why would you do this? Make an acrobatics check followed by a dexterity attack, because you have to get your foot up to his head.
9 plus 7 is 16.
Okay.
And then 17.
Roll for damage. We'll do, it's a D2 because it's just a kick, so, D2 plus your dex. Oh no, plus your strength, because this is
2.
Ha! You kick him for 2 damage, and he puts his... Oh, he already took damage from the arrow. You're trying to knock him out?
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
he falls forward and just knocks the arrow further into his shoulder, just kind of shink up through like the back of his shoulder more.
Where are the alarm bells? You know,
Lythander, please, I need you over here now.
for town emergencies.
Lythander.
You can see over make a investigation check. We'll call it investigation.
I thought she was asking someone.
13.
Right now it's
You look around, and on top of the very large and prominent political building there is a very large dome-shaped section of it that's in the middle. Now that's where the stairs that are kind of rounded in the front, they go up, and that's also where the pie-sliced portion of it is basically cut out and collapsed in because the crack goes somewhere into the political building. You can see there is a tower behind the dome-shaped main part of the building, and that tower seems to have a very large bell at the top.
Gonna start climbing.
Wait, is he behind me?
He is now running off again, it seems.
Lythander, I need you now! Why did you
No?
do this?
I don't think he can sit there next to Kip.
Please, I need you to hear this decision.
He does stop running.
I need to pull out the arrow right now. I need to know, do I have your consent?
Kip or Lythander?
Lythander.
He seems to be shaking his head, and he has a couple hands in the air.
Is that a yes?
Seriously, I don't know what that's a yes.
I'm trying to figure out in this sort of situation
Yeah, it's valid. I'm
what
sorry.
Lythander would do. Oh, because he certainly doesn't want to be next to Kip right now. Oh, God. What would he do?
He's frozen.
Anarchy's gonna continue singing the song until she gets the answer.
He comes back over and he sits down next to Kip.
Do I have your consent?
Please just help him.
Okay. I'm gonna keep singing the song.
Since the song's a prayer, she's gonna do it. At the end of quote, you Levi. That's when it's getting yanked and 2 heals.
2 heals.
Are we ready?
I want... Yes, I am ready. Alright. You can pull the arrow out with your free action. That's just a simple yank. There's nothing complicated about that. So you can get 2 heals off for your action and for your bonus action.
Okay.
Can
What am I rolling?
Lythander donate 1 lucky to her?
Yes, you can donate lucky.
Lythander's gonna give you lucky to reroll one of your dice if you need to.
Thank you.
Normally these things don't donate, but this is a very special occasion, and Gina actually
Lythander
wrote
would
a
like to be
song.
lucky.
And it is something that's very pertinent to Lythander, and he does tend to be lucky.
I vivendi della vai, I vai di dai, guarani guinora na vai. Oh, you'll Levi.
What am I doing?
D20 for the strength first.
Dirty 20.
Beautiful. You yank that arrow out of his back. He lets out what is almost a very quiet, pained sound. It kind of bubbles up a little with blood, and he does fall unconscious from the pain.
Lythander takes his
2d4.
hands as he's...
Are we ready for the 2d4 at the same time? It's the same time cast. Here we
1
go.
second. Lythander takes his hands.
Yes, since he's falling unconscious anyway, Lythander's gonna take his hands to hold them.
All right. Gina, roll your 2d4 for the healing spells, and remember, you can re-roll one of them.
Okay. Right.
If you want.
I'm gonna reroll one just to be safe.
Okay.
Oh wait, hang on. Because that would be... Because I
They're
rolled
both 4s, maybe you don't
2
want to re-roll
twice
one.
plus this one, so that's technically 12. We're gonna use one of the luckies just to be safe. That's better. Okay, so it's 13. That's the total.
That's the total? All right. As you are finishing up your song prayer, you rip this arrow out and you heal him twice, rapid fire. Both of you who are here in the area have to squint and close your eyes as your hands glow extremely bright. It is excessively brighter than any other time you've cast one of these spells. As a DM, I'm going to let you know that your healing is healing for twice as much on this particular occasion as a reward for the fact that you wrote a song and actually sang a prayer for this campaign, which I think is just absolutely kick-ass.
Thanks! I've been working on it all week. Thank God it paid off.
And your god is incredibly pleased with your offering of prayer and devotion towards your friends.
Thanks, Salune.
So your hands glow incredibly bright. Both of you have to close your eyes through this, and by the point that you can feel the ambiance with your eyes closed, you can all feel this warmth that rests on your cheeks and in front of you anywhere that this light emanating from your hands hits. And slowly, as your surroundings start to cool off again, you both test, you can realize that you are opening your eyes slightly. The world feels incredibly dark as it takes your eyes several seconds to be slowly adjusting to this slightly dim, overcast, swampy area that you guys are actually sitting in, and not the incredibly bright, surrounded area that you were just in a couple of seconds ago. As you lift your hands, Anarchy, you can see that the wound has closed on his back.
Yep. Can you talk to me? Please. Just, can you open your eyes?
Kip is blinking slightly. He does appear to be coming to.
Oh, thank God.
For he coughs a little bit. There is no blood. And he brings he goes to move one of his hands before realizing that his hands are in fact
Held in a death grip.
Oh. Should we check to see how purple his fingertips are?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Take a strength check.
Oh, they're fine.
Oh, they're
You got a 3.
It's as tight as poor little sad Lythander can muster.
Oh,
Eyes.
Happy birthday, Kitty!
happy birthday, Kitty. Your
Thank you,
character's
thank
boyfriend almost died.
His eyes soften quite a lot before, instead of trying to move his hands to his chest where he was previously going to be feeling it in a little bit of astonishment towards the fact that his chest no longer hurts, he instead brings his head towards his hands to put his forehead on Lythander's hands.
Lythander is silent.
Jim, you get to the hospital. You know exactly where it is.
Yep, I remember where this is. The mask lady.
The masked lady. You throw that door open to go in, and she looks over. Hello.
Did you feel the earthquake?
We need doctors. I need doctors to come with me now. There's 2 people shot.
Having an earthquake?
I felt the damn earthquake, but 2 people got shot and are dying right now, and I need doctors.
She looks around in a little bit of a hurried panic before running towards a door and opening it. We need doctors! And 2 men who look surprisingly similar to each other come running out from the back room, also wearing masks. What do you need?
We got 2 guys out there, Kip and Maurice. They've been shot.
And they go running out past you they stop outside. Where?
Just come with me. Follow me now. Jim starts running with them. So much running today.
These doctors are running along with you. You do. Oh wait, no, never mind. Yeah, he didn't get to walk himself. You put Maurice under.
Yeah.
They follow you back to the square where Maurice is unconscious on the ground, face
Guys, did he take a nap? What'd you do? Did he die? What'd you do to him?
Kip shifts slightly to look over at you, and then at Maurice. Looks like he fell.
Wait, Kip, did you guys do it? You healed Kip?
He's stable. He should still see medical attention. He was shot.
Okay.
The two doctors split up. One of them is running over to go start handling Maurice, and another one is running over to start checking on Kip, like, where were you shot? And Kip does not try to pull his hands back at all to indicate. He just points with a little nod of his head and, the hole in my shirt, basically.
I feel like it's close.
And that's just it. This doctor is generally trying to check. He's like, you don't look like you've been shot. Kip. Weird. Must have grazed me and I got scared. The hole is through your shirt and out your back. You're covered in blood. It's not mine.
Oh no! Please, can you just check his vitals? Like, oxygen levels? Make sure he's breathing properly. Just to be safe.
The
Maybe
doctor
from the
tilts
shock?
his head slightly and starts putting a hand on Kip's forehead, checking out his pupils and everything. You've been drinking the swamp water again, Kip? Kip just lets out a very heavy sigh.
Oh, he can heavy sigh. This is good news.
Just
Anarchy, if she could sigh, she would. She's very happy that he can sigh.
sits there while the doctor checks on him like, you shouldn't be out and about in the swamp. You should keep your feet on the ground. And Kip does not warrant anything the doctor is saying with a
that
response.
Lythander who almost drowned Kip in the swamp last episode. And he just does like a little
Maurice is waking up with a scream over there as that doctor is getting the arrow out of his shoulder and getting him patched up.
See,
And
Maurice, I told you I'd get you a doctor, buddy.
I'm dying! That's it! This is the end! Sir, you're fine. It was just in your shoulder. Sir, you need to calm down. Tell my wife that I hate her for cheating on me.
Oh my god.
Did she cheat on me with you?
Oh my god. He's such a baby. Jim just begrudgingly just casts Cure Wounds on Maurice.
Oh, maybe you should save that.
My brother.
We do have maybe a Zambi Hubble later.
All right, the doctors get Maurice seen to. They get him to his feet. Once the one is done checking over Kip and says, clean bill of health, they look at him like, try to, not go nutso. And Kip just watches them as they stand up and they escort Maurice away back towards the hospital for a hospital stay because he is demanding that he needs to rest in a hospital and not go home right now.
Well, clearly he is having as many marital issues as Jim, so. Different kinds, but
So your group is now gathered back together and is alone in the market square. People are still generally hiding-ish, but people are glancing out of windows into the market square. They're kind of waiting to see if more arrows are going to come. What the hell's going on? There's an earthquake. There were arrows. There's a blinding light. People are terrified of coming out right now. Kip is slowly sitting up on the ground. He is not letting go of Lythander's hands so long as Lythander seems to be maintaining a relatively strong-ish grip.
Lythander is zoned but not letting go.
Okay.
Anarchy's gonna get up and get in front of Kip and just kind of inspect the area and make sure there's no arrows coming.
There don't seem
She's
to
like-
be any arrows coming.
Jim is just gonna
She's still gonna stand guard in front of him.
Jim is
Very
just gonna
protective.
go pat Lythander on the back.
Whoa!
Just
Right, you can't do that.
Lythander on the back. Pat him on the back.
Oh, I heard Kip.
No.
My anxiety is so high right now. In this scene.
He's gonna
I'm sorry.
pat Lythander on
I'm
the
so
back and
sorry.
it's like, "How you doing there, kid?"
He gets no response.
Jim says nothing back.
After
He just
several
kinda-
seconds, Kip will slowly pull Lythander into a hug and rub his back.
Kip gets no response, but Lythander is pulled.
Huh, he can be moved around.
He can be moved around. He is not resisting.
It does technically mean that you've lost his hands.
Yes, it does technically mean he's lost his hands.
Does Lythander like fight it horribly?
No,
or?
he's not very. He's very zoned.
All right.
Well, now I just feel awkward standing here like a jackass.
Thank you so much, Jim.
You
really,
did most of
really-
the work.
No, but you brought the doctors here. Thank you so much.
I'm glad I could help. Hey, how are you doing, Anarchy?
I've been better.
Yeah,
I'm
must have been tough on you.
We can talk about it later.
Thanking all of you.
Hey, you always got our backs. We got yours.
I feel like I should be apologizing, if anything.
You have nothing to apologize for.
I feel like I do.
Without you, this guy would be a goner. You have nothing to apologize for.
But when I smashed the wall and the earthquake started, and then Kip's grandma got hurt, and then I had to go do medical attention to her, and then I let go at the side of Kip, and then he gets shot, and I couldn't get over fast enough.
The guy would have shot either way.
But I could have been there. It's hard to hit me. If I was in front of him.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do but sit there and watch.
You're also significantly shorter than me, and the arrow came from up high. I'm not sure you would have been able to stop it, Anarchy.
I have a hammer.
Anarchy, this would have happened no matter what. But you responded in all the right ways. You are not at fault. You are the
Also-
hero today.
I'm sorry, Lythander, for yelling at you. You didn't deserve that.
I'm fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you.
And he's still kind of standing guard.
I'm sorry.
Lythander's going to attempt to stand.
Kip will adjust to let you go, but offer his hands, like if you seem like you're wobbly, to like help you up.
He seems stable. He's going to walk off.
Well, so, now what do we do?
I'm gonna continue my duties and guard Kip for the day.
Okay, I'm gonna go, see if we've checked. Lythander had this side covered. No one was covering west side. I'm gonna go make sure they're good.
That's a good idea. Thank you, Jim. Seriously. You really helped save the day.
Don't mention it.
Kip
Jim
glances at
kind
you
of grins, by the way.
Kip will glance at you, Anarchy, and tell you that he's planning to go back to his house, see what the damages are, start trying to assess out the stability of the building, what needs to get cleaned up, and what needs to happen so that he can get his grandmother back into it.
Right. I'll help you with the repairs.
Are you handy at repairing a building?
I'm strong. I can move beams. And I'm handy with a hammer.
All right, then.
Different kind of hammer, but I'm sure I can figure it out.
All right, you can go back with Kip to his place as he's starting to walk around the building to try and assess the damages. You do find out... Well, first let's figure out... Lythander, what are you doing as you walk off?
Lythander wants to, he wants to talk to Xavier.
Ooh.
Speaking of Xavier... Xavier is currently leaving the political building, actually.
Ah, good. Then they're gonna run right into each
They
other.
are going to run
Oh,
right
joy.
into each other because Xavier is very concerned about checking on the people in his city now that the shaking seems to have stopped and everything
I
seems
need to talk to you.
But he does seem to, his clothing doesn't seem as straight and neat. It does seem like he had to struggle to get out of his house. Like, he is certainly grounded or, by some measure, not allowed outside. He's straightening his shirt. What is it that you need?
I need to talk to you. Lythander starts to walk to an alley.
Well, it doesn't seem unusual at all. Following. It's always bad when somebody wants to come talk to you in an alley.
Once they seem secluded, Lythander turns to Xavier. Do you know anything about those meetings?
What meetings?
Anything about what we talked about? Anything I can follow as a trail? I have the name Jay, and that's it. Do you know where the shady sorts tend to reside?
I know the individuals who are typically invited to these council meetings, the high-up individuals of East Craven. That would include my parents, my brother Philip, the notable council members. So that would be the Farthingtons, the Barkoffs. That would be...
Do you know who would suggest an idea like this? I assume you know their personalities well.
Far as I can gauge, the Barkoffs seem very likely to... They seem like they might have motive. My parents seem like the types of individuals who would be all for it.
But the Barkoffs might have connections to lower-end people in town? Or outsiders?
The Barkoffs might also, those individuals who are in the council who also work in trade. For instance, Jacques. Jacques has outside connections all over. He has people who come in and out of the city to commission him for work. He comes to mind. There's Jean the jeweler. There's also Solomon. He owns both the hospital and the pharmacy.
Solomon.
Yes.
Lythander's mostly thinking about the fact that clearly whoever did the dirty deed got poisoned last minute. If somebody was going to have poisons and stuff, it'd be from the pharmacy or anywhere else, so that puts Solomon slightly higher on his sus list than anybody else.
A question, was the dirty deed done dirty cheap?
No, it's not done dirty cheap. He barely got grazed. Lythander walks back out of the alley.
Just but a flesh wound.
Bye. You're welcome.
He stops. He turns his head a little. Thank you. Really. I'm gonna get this solved. And he leaves.
Xavier is now spending the rest of the day going around to buildings on the east side, getting a list of people whose buildings might have been slightly affected by the earthquake, people whose wares were affected. He's trying to find anyone who has a minor amount of injuries. He's basically handling, general upkeep, getting a feel for what's happening in his city.
And Lythander's going to spend the day going to more shady places because something tells him that whoever this J guy is who did the dirty to the assassin is going to be sorely upset that Kip is also still alive. And so if there's a chance that they're re-meeting to find a new guy or anything else, it's going to be now.
Alright, so Lythander is spending the rest of the day walking around trying to, check out sketchy areas and stuff.
He's looking for thieves' cant and other things.
Alright.
Ooh, he's finally pulling out more of that thievy stuff.
Time for thieves can't.
Oh shit.
Anarchy
Who
is
said
spending
thieves can't? They can.
Anarchy, you are spending the rest of the day helping Kip.
Yes.
And Jim, you are spending
keeping a sharp eye out.
Yes. And Jim, you're planning to spend the rest of the day on West Side?
Yeah, helping out there to get everything back in shape after the earthquakes.
All right. You are spending the rest of the day on West Side. You're noticing the entire town, the community is coming out now that things have settled. They're all working to be checking out people's buildings, figuring out who took which damages, because on East Side, the buildings are very nice. Over here, they are sturdy, but each side has their own minor faults. So the buildings that are dealing with some structural damages on the East Side right now are dealing with it because of potentially cut construction corners to make things, cheaper to build and to make them look nice still. On the West Side, the ones that are collapsing aren't collapsing because they're not stable or anything, but just because there's not a lot of resources. So some of them have a lot of jerry-rigged situations. There are plenty of injured people because with the increase of weapons that are on the West Side, there's a good number of people who had plenty of sharp objects to fall off of walls or who could fall on something that's potentially very damaging. So West Side actually had a couple of deaths from the earthquake. West Side is dealing with some injury that they are currently trying to get seen to.
Anyone Jim's friends with or no?
You do recognize that Harry, the blacksmith, his wife is injured.
Jim rushes over to Harry.
Oh, you're going over to Harry. Harry is currently carrying his wife to their medic. Their medic who has the doors propped open to be getting anyone in who's got injuries and the like.
Harry, is she all right?
She fell sideways on a spear. I think she'll be fine. It just kind of grazed her side. It's not through her though. I think she should be fine. She's just my wife, man.
I know, buddy. I'll make sure she's gonna make it through this, okay? And then when she does, the three of us will go to the bar. We'll have a good time. Everything will be great.
He gives a nod. You can see where he's trying to be a little bit straight-faced about it, but you can see above his slightly rounded cheeks and that big beard that he's got where his eyes are glistening just a little bit.
Jim goes over Harry's wife and he casts Cure Wound. Yeah.
You cast Cure Wounds?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll, see how much you can cure for her.
Oh, a perfect 6 plus wisdom, that's 9.
You run your hands over her. He stops as you seem to be chanting something, saying something. He seems very confused. For a moment, there is this protective edge that kind of comes out, as a guy who my wife is injured and someone that I know and I think of very fondly, but I have no idea what he's doing. He's putting his hands on my wife's injury and he's chanting something. Gets a little bit protective and like he's about to start demanding some answers out of you, but this can be cast in one action, so it only takes a few seconds to cast the spell. And quickly, as he's like, hey, what are you doing? She has this moment of, I feel much better. And she's putting her hand on her side and she still winces just a little bit where it's sore and tender and it's not perfectly thoroughly healed through or anything, but she is pressing at it, realizing that she can move around a lot more. And Harry calms down very quickly, seeing her react this way, looking at her you're better. What did you do?
Jim smiles at Harry and just says,
I have a tiny bit of medical experience in my life.
That didn't look medical. That looked...
I promise you, it was medical, buddy. And either way, and no matter what you believe, she's a little better, isn't she?
Make a persuasion check.
oh my god, it's 6! No!
I mean, yeah, but what the hell was that? I know medicine. I mean, I don't know medicine, but we got a doc. It's a good doc. Good enough.
There's some things I picked up in my years that can't really be explained. But I promise you, they only help people.
He seems completely perplexed by what you did, but he slowly gives a nod, especially as his wife looks at him like, Harry, I'm feeling better. This is good. And he slowly nods again. Thank you.
Hey, anytime, buddy.
If you ever need anything, let us know.
Aww.
Will do.
Friendship unlocked.
Gives a nod. His wife shifts like, I can walk home. And he shakes his head like, better not, just to be safe. And shifts his wife a little bit up more to carry her just a little bit higher before turning to walk her home.
Jim kind of with pride, a little bit of pride, because he did 2 goods today.
Jim's so good today.
He actually did goods, and he's kind of proud, you know? He goes to look for anyone else who might need help fixing up their house.
You're looking for people that need help fixing up their houses, or do you want to offer, even without magic, medical expertise?
He's just looking for anyone who needs help in general.
All right, well, there's plenty of construction work to do. There's also plenty that you can do at the medical office should you choose to spend some time there in terms of, I mean, heck, even that doctor has the knowledge to be saying what needs wrapping, what needs attention, has some antibiotics, very minimally. They have minimal resources over here is half of the problem, but there is somebody there who has the know-how that can tell you, you know, how to be wrapping things, what to be wrapping, so that way you could lend extra hands there if you wanted.
Jim's gonna go there then, just because maybe he could learn something in case one of his friends gets hurt again.
All right. You spend the rest of the day there. Roll a medicine check for me.
Okay. It's 9.
9? All right. So the doctor there does welcome your assistance for the afternoon and evening, as he's got a fair amount of work to do. He mostly keeps you on a lot of these smaller wounds so that he can start seeing to some of the more medium and more grievous situations, since it's fairly easy to have you be wrapping things. He does not give you much in the way of antibiotic to be putting on things, but they do have some soap and a little bit of clean water to be using to try and get people's wounds properly cleaned to try and prevent infection. You are getting a general feeling from the lack of resources and the like over here that they're not as equipped to handle something like some of the people that, like, there's one person in particular who did fall much more through something that's actually sticking through their leg. He has them kind of, when he's got them holding pressure on it, but he doesn't have any sort of painkillers. He doesn't have any sort of a lot of antibiotics or anything to be using. So he's handling other people with lesser injuries first to try and maximize the amount of people that can in fact be saved, just in case. But there's a very real chance. You get the general tone of this place. They're not shy about amputating things as well. If they think that something is going to cause a lot of blood, they seem to have the ability to amputate and cauterize and try to handle situations that way. That's something that they go to a lot over here. It's a tone that you're generally getting.
Okay. So yeah, Jim's just gonna help up for the rest of the day then.
All right, so you're helping out there for the day. Excellent. You are able to start picking up some general information and stuff. You feel like you're a lot more comfortable dealing with minor wounds and stuff, certainly by the end of the day. You are also extremely tired by the end of the day because you are working, you're running around helping these people, you're dealing with people's injuries all day. It does start raining again pretty soon, and so you're cold, you're wet, you're tired, but everyone on West Side is pulling together, working through the rain and everything to be trying to get done what needs to get done. Kyle is also helping in the medical offices.
Aww.
Aw, Kyle. He has to work with Kyle?
Yes.
I boy, he does begrudgingly work with Kyle too. Like, you know, he doesn't like the guy, but he likes everyone else that they're healing, so and helping out. So
Kyle seems to mostly help with keeping pressure on some things for individuals and in some general morale. He's talking to people, he's trying to be a little bit uplifting he's caring about people, he's entertaining some children whose parents are injured, or he seems to have grabbed some sock puppets to entertain a couple of children that are injured. He's a real sweet guy.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Jim has slightly more respect with the puppets, just because Jim has a bit of a soft spot for kids, as we know.
Mm-hmm.
But he still hates Kyle.
Sure. All right. That's the rest of your day. Anarchy. The rest of your day is spent with Kip, helping Kip figure this stuff out. As Kip is beginning to go through and start trying to clean up stuff in his house and get to taking a look at the damages, you spend the majority of the rest of the day mostly focused on damages. He's not really cleaning up a bunch of stuff yet. He's mostly trying to figure out what foundation needs work, how strong the stairs are, to which he ends up saying that he would recommend that you not be going upstairs. That's going to take a little bit to be fixing, and it's not going to be fixed tonight.
Okay.
But you guys do focus on downstairs, put your efforts towards sealing up some holes in the roof that start to become pretty apparent. Not huge gaping holes, but there are leaks that are becoming very apparent as it starts raining. That Kip does say they were minor leaks before that were upstairs, but now, of course, with the foundation splitting and everything, he's sure that there are more cracks and areas that water is getting in, and it is leaking through into the downstairs. So he's spending a lot of time trying to get that fixed up, testing out, figuring out the bridge, trying to get the bridge a little bit reestablished to figure out whether
Anarchy's actually going to be brave today.
Going to be brave today?
She's already braved this crack enough.
Okay.
And since Kip is down there, she's going to say to him,
Okay. You won't let me get stuck down there, right?
Never.
Okay, I'm gonna help you.
and she's very scared, but she's going to inch her way into the crack to help build the bridge.
Second time into the crack today. Technically third, because she had to leave it.
Yeah, third time.
Yeah.
You
Anarchy's getting braver with the crack.
He offers his hands to help you into it, so you don't have to just, like, fully slide in or anything.
It's the least I could do.
And the two of you can spend the entire afternoon and evening really getting this bridge established and solid again, so that way, at the very least, there is a firm bridge to be able to cross back and forth. The rest of the house is not really in the best of conditions, but it is still a roof. It's a leaky roof, but it is still a roof over your heads. He has gone around and tested lots of stuff. He's determined the building is not in the process of collapsing or anything. If you push on the wall, the building's not going to come down. It seems stable where it's at. It just has damage.
Well, good thing it's not going to collapse.
Good thing it's not going to collapse. Which means that the two of you can get the grandma inside before she's out in the rain for too long.
And for she suffers Jim's fate of wet socks.
She is already wet. Kip, she does seem to still be asleep. Kip gets her inside onto a dry mattress, gets the wet mattress stood up against the wall inside. He gets a fire going in the wood-burning stove to start trying to heat this building up a little bit more, mostly to try and help her dry off, even though it's not excessively cold, because it's not the middle of the night yet, and you are somewhere that's kind of humid and sticky. So it's not excessively cold yet, but he does get a fire going, so that way he can hopefully be hanging her clothes up near it, help those to dry faster, to get warm and everything.
Mm-hmm. Anarchy's just going to do little odd jobs, basically keep asking him, like, what do you need me to do? Where you need me? And, like, occasionally check up on the grandma. It's like, you okay? Like...
By the end of the day, the very last thing that you are finding out before your group is going to end up probably coming back together and converging on the prison at the end of the day is that when Kip is going around after he's assessed the damages and everything, and he's sort of made a list of things that he's going to need to buy supplies for tomorrow to be fixing up for the day, he is going around trying to put stuff away, and you are made aware of the fact that he was in fact robbed.
My God. Someone took your money?
So it would seem.
Do you think it was the instance you got shot?
No, I would imagine it's why everything was excessively messy in here. And he looks around at where drawers are pulled out of the desk and where items are scattered. Someone very clearly was searching through the place.
Do you know what they took? We should make an inventory. We could try to find it somehow.
Well, it's mostly money and family heirlooms.
Family heirlooms? Such as, what do they look like?
I had them in a lockbox. There's a few rings, a jeweled comb. It's mostly
God.
money, though.
Sorry. We can find it. I mean, they're guards, right? We can put out reports.
Lythander would like to say this isn't what it looks like. You let a thief live with you one time and all the stuff goes missing.
All this fine stuff goes missing.
Lythander's more focused on a certain collar.
Does your grandmother have her necklace?
Good question. He goes over and he checks on his grandmother before giving a nod. She has her necklace.
I'm glad she has that.
So am I.
We'll work hard to find him.
Nodding. Figure that out tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. How are you feeling, by the way?
Physically, I feel fine. Thank you.
Not feeling
amazing,
woozy?
actually. No.
Thank the goddess. I guess it's no secret now. You kind of figured out I could do magic, huh?
I would say that. You can do magic incredibly well.
Yeah! I get the feeling,
Though
Where
I
I'm
kind of
from-
figured that when you cast the light spell on my grandmother's
yeah, but like,
locket.
I don't know, Lythander always says, oh, it's just moss. And, yeah, this didn't look like moss today.
No,
um,
Lythander's certainly got a perspective on magic.
Yeah, about that.
Can I say that?
I have a question. No one's really answered yet. So, where I'm from, magic thrives, and lots of people can do it. But here, it seems people are afraid of it, or they don't like it, or a couple people said, oh, do you work for the king? And I'm like, who's the king? I've never met the king. And so, what's going on with that?
Magic isn't something that we really see here. My grandmother says a long time ago, magic got hunted to extinction and the gods left our world, the magic left our plane, and humans were left to fend on their own, to their own devices. I don't really know.
Hunted?
Shrugging slightly. That's what
Do you
she
think
said.
someone would hunt me?
I think that there's a lot of dark forces in the world and that evil dwells in a lot of places.
Yes.
And there's a lot that people would do for something that they perceive to be a strong and rare resource. And since magic isn't very common, I would say yes, I'm sure there are people out there that would wish to do you harm in order to take that from you.
I suppose that's expected. But thank you. This is
I wouldn't
very
say
good
that
to know.
You should be afraid around every single corner. There is also good in the world, but
Oh, of course, I do believe that. But
certainly
this is
something to keep in mind.
yes, no one's explained to this me. I kind of had feelings, but no one's explained to this me clearly. And this, I wish they did, because this is important to know.
Most people you'll find really just don't believe magic exists anymore. Or maybe not even in any more situation. If they believe it existed at all, they think it's kind of a rumor, a legend, like the boogeyman to get kids to stay in bed and go to sleep. Shrugging. Different people have different opinions on it. I think the majority is that it doesn't exist.
That's fine. But I suppose in the future, if I am protecting the ones I care about, I have to do so a little secretly. That light instant, not so secret.
No, but thankfully the square was relatively empty.
Thank goodness. And also, I'm very glad you're okay.
I'm very glad to be okay.
Me too. Well, glad you're okay. Conversations, am I right?
You and Jim have this in common, it seems.
I'm sorry.
I
if I'm
haven't
making you
chat
feel
with people
awkward.
much in 100 years, give or take.
I don't really talk with too many people. They're not terribly fond of me here.
I like you. I think you're very level-headed, and I respect that. Also, you're very kind to us.
Certainly try to be. Giving a nod.
And for that, I'll do whatever I can.
I appreciate that. I'm going to spend the rest of the evening in the room with my grandmother.
Would you like company or would you like to be alone? It's okay either way.
We'll give a holler if we need anything.
Okay. Do you want me to make some dinner? I can make eggs. That's all I know how to make.
Eggs sound amazing.
I'll make some eggs.
Thank
That's
you.
You taught me that.
I remember.
You go make the best scrambled eggs that Anarchy could possibly make. All right.
I'll try not to burn the place.
That's appreciated. The Lythander would like you to not burn down the prison. All right. Lythander, who's had a long enough day as it is.
Yes.
You are walking and sleuthing towards the sneaky parts of town. You are looking for thieves' cant. Make investigation checks for me.
Investigation. 18.
18. All right. You are walking around town. You're looking. It's a little bit difficult because it is kind of dark and overcast out. It's starting to
I'll
rain.
pull out
while
his
you're...
hooded lantern.
All right. You've got your hooded lantern out. Do you have anything else out to protect yourself from the rain, or?
No.
All right. You're walking around with your lantern out. Seems like people on the east side have generally stayed relatively indoors,
Ah, shit.
but
He turns around. He's going back to the jail cell. Or to the prison.
okay.
So, sometime around the time in which Anarchy and Kip are working on fixing stuff,
Okay.
he pokes his head in. There's a dead body. I figured you're the jailer guy, so you'd want to know about it.
Wait, what?
Where?
Am I making eggs or what's happening?
This is technically before the eggs.
Da, 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 da. Rewind.
It looks over.
Where?
It was poisoned. He says the building.
I'll go see to that.
Lythander leaves.
All right, so that's something else that happened before the end of Anarchy and Kip's day. They got to go over to a building and go see to a dead body,
That's the game.
All right.
which
God, is it gone?
is not there.
Gotta
Through
get
the
back.
magic
back
of
to the past.
retcons.
They walk around. You two walk around. You don't see any signs of there being anything. Kip kind of wonders if you guys have the wrong building. He knocks on some doors nearby. He convinces some people to let the two of you in because he's here on an investigation. And when people question him, he's like, 2 people got shot in the market today. What do you think I'm investigating? And then people get kind of scared and they let the 2 of you in. But there's no signs of anything.
Can't believe this. Well, what should we do now?
Bring Lythander to an asylum.
Well, nobody started screaming about some undead creature walking around the city, so we have to assume it was moved by somebody. It
Okay.
did not simply walk on its own. Somebody who wanted to clean up after it.
Very, very well, my dad. What would you like to do?
Head back, finish checking on the house, cleaning up the prison a little bit, because even if we apprehend anybody, until I figure out how stable the prison is, I don't have anywhere to put them. So
That's a good
still need
point.
to check on the prison, make sure all that's stable and fine. We'll add this to the list of things to be investigating tomorrow.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
go then.
And the two of you, the rest of your day goes on as planned. It just goes a little later into the evening. So
And
there's
now
a
back
chance-
to eggs.
There's a chance Jim is there by the time you're making eggs so that Jim can have some scrambled eggs with you all.
Ooh, I smell eggs.
Hi, Jim. I'm making eggs. It's the
Hey.
only thing I know how to make.
Hey, I'm sure you're doing a great job, Anarchy.
Would you like to help? And make sure I'm not. These look okay. I don't know. I can't taste them. And they look kind of like the right color.
They're looking pretty good to me, and they're definitely smelling good.
Oh, thank goodness.
Hey, if you want my supervision, I'll help out.
Okay.
Yeah, so how was your day today?
Well, it was a day, I suppose.
Yeah, after the shooting incident, when we all split off.
Lythander said someone got shot. Well, not shot, poisoned. I'm getting mixed up.
Oh,
Long day.
is it anyone we know, or?
I don't think so.
Huh.
We couldn't find the body, though. Someone really cleaned up after it.
Oh.
Kip might have some more information about that. Lythander mostly spoke to him about it. And then we clean up the prison. And also, Kip's been robbed. So that's fun.
Wait, he's been robbed?
Yeah. Money, family heirlooms. We should keep a lookout.
Sounds like you guys had quite the day over here.
It was a day.
And I thought working with Kyle all day was bad.
Wait, you worked with Kyle? You didn't punch him, did you?
No, I'm not gonna punch a guy who's entertaining and helping children in a medical situation.
You were good to Kyle.
Don't make a big deal out of it. We
Okay.
worked out. A lot of people got really hurt during the earthquake on West Craven, and we were helping out the injured, and Harry may or may not be catching on to the fact that I have magic, because I did heal
Oh, right.
his wife.
Speaking of, I finally got information about magic. Why didn't you guys tell me this much sooner? That magic gets hunted, and I'm kind of a walking magical item with sentience.
To be fair, since I was young, I just thought they stopped doing it. I thought we were past those times. Admittingly, it's just, it's been so long. For a while, I started to question if I was the last one left.
I see.
It's,
Well, you're definitely not, but I'm not around from around here, so
yeah.
I don't know if I count. But at the same time, this is good to know, because I'll have to be a little bit sneaky about spell casting.
Yeah. Oh, if Harry asks, I have some medical professional training
Will do.
from where I'm from.
Okay. We should have some eggs. I can't eat the eggs, but I can watch you eat the eggs.
Hey, I'll eat some eggs. Kip will eat some eggs. Is Lythander home?
No. He was
No.
home, then he left.
You know him. He's in and out everywhere.
I hope he's okay. It was a really rough day for him. And I yelled at him, too, to come over, and oh gosh.
Hey, don't beat yourself up over that. That's trust me.
But I said something. I hope he didn't hear it. I was like, why do you always do this? And it's okay. He's his own person. He can do his own things. And I was just stressed.
Come on, Anarchy. Let's sit down. Let's have some or I'll have some dinner. You I don't know. You can chat. Chat. Pretend to eat if you want, just to feel included.
Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
After dinner, I could use something kind of fun to keep my mind off things.
Yeah? Want to play some Uno or something?
Actually, can I show you a game that I know?
Sure thing.
Okay, we don't have hammers, but they're brooms. And, so we used to play this game called Hammer Ball, where we hit a ball back and forth the hammers. In the air or on the ground. We can do the ground because the place is already a mess. And basically, the idea was to keep the ball up in the air, but since the place is kind of breaking, maybe we can make, 2 cells could be nets, and I have to try to take a shot with the ball on the net, and you have to try to get a shot on mine.
Okay, I can play that.
Okay.
They're basically playing hockey.
You two you're basically playing hockey.
Well, right now they're eating. I don't know if Lythander will
They're
be
eating
back.
first, and then they're gonna play hockey.
Lythander might be back by the time you guys are playing hockey. So, Lythander, with your 18 investigation check, you are finding what appears to be some old thieves' camp. Particularly, you're seeing some houses that have been marked from what you can discern as being good marks or bad marks, places that would be good to rob and the like. And the marks are still there, but they do look to be a little bit old. You know, the scratches aren't like brand new, fresh marks in anything. They seem to have been there for a while and kind of been weathered down slowly. You're not catching anything.
He's going
that seems
to the
be fresh.
inn.
To the inn?
To the inn, because he feels like the best chances of finding, especially assassin stuff, because assassin stuff, it can never be that obvious. But, we're working with higher-end people from East Craven who want things done, so the best chances he thinks that finding some thieves' camps talking about death is going to be sitting at an inn table and feeling under the table for marks or anything else.
You are feeling under the table. You do feel where there are some marks that are there, and you are generally inferring that they have a time and place marked for probably a meeting location, but it's for 2 nights ago.
Is it a public place or a private place?
It's a public place.
Cool, we're gonna go there next, because there might be more camps.
More can't. So you go to an inn, you sit down at a table, feel under the table, and just get up and leave?
Yep.
All right. You are going to this public place. The place is towards the south end. It's in one of the residential districts, which has a locked gate because they have gated communities.
Go around to one of the walls that looks less guarded, because the gates are obviously guarded, but go over to one of the walls that looks like, I could just hop over.
To be fair, when you were at the gate, as much as there is in fact a guard in a room that's there near the door, they seem to be asleep with their feet up.
Oh, well,
But,
that makes it easy.
You go over to the wall where you think that you can definitely jump the gate, and you jump the gate. You jump the wall. Make a acrobatics check for me.
Acrobatics. 18.
Beautiful. You jump the wall, nice and easy. You're on the inside. You make your way towards between 2 of the houses where you know that the underside of the table led you to be, and you are looking around, make an investigation check.
9.
9.
It's out of luck, unfortunately.
Look at
Not
level 5
seeing
spells,
anything
don't
there.
mind me.
Level 5 spells, you're level 3.
Goodness,
No,
what
no
else
reason.
can we do?
No reason.
What else can give me a second roll on this? What can Lythander pull out of his ass?
Were you trying to be stealthy as you were walking around once you were inside?
No.
Alright. You hear a, hey, you!
Yeah?
What are you doing in here? You don't live here.
I'm doing an investigation
On what?
on everything that's happened.
Here? Nothing happened here.
A whole earthquake happened.
You
People
think,
got shot in the streets.
You think our gated community caused an earthquake? I hear it was that little gnome. I hear she started to dance and she stomped
Lythander
her
wants
foot
to
and it
punch him in
caused
the face.
Earthquake. Roll a strength attack.
8.
Oh god. You go to punch this guy and he moves his head out of the way. How do you think you're doing?
He wants to now clothesline him since he missed.
Make another strength attack.
How you doing there?
Alright, this guy's now attacking you back. Oh god.
Bar fight! Bar fight! Bar
Fight,
rolled a
fight,
two, so-
fight, 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 fight.
Oh yeah, I'm just like
Nobody talks about his baby sister like this. but
We
she's
demand
into a little
violence.
sissy fight over it.
You turn out swinging, you're slapping your hands at each other, trying to keep your faces away from each other and reach out as far as you can. It's real pathetic. Until somebody in the house, that's one of the houses next to you, walks over to like, keep it down out there. Some of us are trying to sleep.
He tried to kiss me.
Consent, Gerard. Anyone trying to kiss him? I don't swing that way. Not for him.
He's so gay.
I'm just gonna sleep with a guy. I was not gonna be a guy like you.
He's
It's all
gay
the
and he's into commoners.
The person in the house scratches up their nose, makes this disgusted sound, and looks at them like, I'm gonna have you thrown off the homeowners association and the guard, and slams their window shut. Thank God I'm not gonna be in the guard anymore. This guy seems visibly relieved.
You're welcome. Now get out of my face.
Out of the... This ain't my job anymore. And he turns and walks away.
Lythander goes back to investigating.
He's so
Yeah, I know. Lythander, I'm trying to think of anything I can do to give myself advantage here. It's just an alleyway? So this is so public. Maybe I have the wrong address. I thought this place was gonna be public.
I mean, it's technically, it's not in anyone's houses. It's just
No.
anybody that can get into this
I
residential area
suppose
can walk
there's a
here.
high chance they were just talking. Alright. With that, Lythander's gonna be... Gosh. No, he should wait for night until that. He's gonna go back.
Okay. You're actually back in time for dinner and to play hockey with everyone if you should so be inclined to play hockey.
Lythander doesn't want to play hockey. He wants to sharpen his daggers.
Anarchy kind of just like
Edgy.
freezes.
Come on, Lythander, come join us.
Lythander looks over, takes a breath, stands up, puts his daggers away. Alright, why not? What are we doing?
Yeah.
We were playing a game. We're using brooms and trying to get the ball into the other's prison cell. And if you get it there, you get a point.
Okay, that seems easy enough.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's a
pick
pretty
up the
tough
break.
player.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah?
I wish Kip would get his ball in my prison cell.
Oh, I see what you did there. Never mind, Anarchy.
Why would you put a ball in the prison cell? Like, well, unless he's playing as well?
Hey,
You
you know,
only have 3 people. It's not exactly even teams.
Where is
you're right.
Then you can get the ball in your prison cell. But that's kind of the object of the game. You wanted to get away from it.
So how's team's gonna work? Walking around trying to find Kip?
Where are you checking?
He's poking his head into all the rooms.
Alright. He is sitting facing a wall with his eyes closed. He's in the center of the room. He's
Do
clearly
you want to play hammer balls without the hammers and with broomsticks instead? I need someone on my team. I can't go up against Jim and Anarchy and beat them. I mean, that would just look pathetic on their part. It's best that I have a second person, so that way they feel like the defeat is more justified.
If you want to put a third person on their team to balance the scores.
No, I still want to win.
Not interested in playing fair.
Fine, you can join their team.
He turns his head to glance over at you.
I'm a one-man act.
You should probably have a second person on your team.
Nah, I could win with just me. Serious, aren't you?
But
Come on, come play.
he stands up after a second, straightens his pants out a little before walking over.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Pulling him out of the room and closing the door.
Hi.
Hi. We have another person.
Hey.
Oh, that's good. Kip, do you need me to go over the rules? Also, are you feeling well enough to play?
Feel perfectly fine. Thank you, Anarchy.
That's good.
We're here.
Okay, so now we're doing teams. And not to my own horn, but I am the founder of this game.
She is
Ooh.
really good.
You're a professional.
Absolutely. Myself and my sister invented this game, and I taught it to my little sisters.
Aw.
And now, after 100 years of waiting, I get to play it again. Okay,
Cheers to anarchy.
Kip
Cheers.
goes over and adjusts
Cheers.
a bucket to catch a second leak over towards the one side of the building. How do we play?
okay, so grab your broom, and you two are gonna pass the ball back and forth, and you're gonna try to get it in our jail cell. And we're gonna do the opposite for you. There's no one to guard the jail cell except for you can't hover around the jail cell, you know? That's cheating.
Yeah, it's just being a jerk.
That's just being cheap. So
Sounded tactical.
it is. So
Too tactical to be fair.
yeah. it's-
Oh, by the way,
lots of
Kip's on your team.
What? Oh, I thought you two were a team. It would be 3
All
on 1.
three of you are a team.
But that's very uneven odds.
She's really good at the game. Are you sure about this?
I could take anarchy on in my sleep.
Oh, would you like to go 1-on-1 then?
I would love to go 1-on-1. You think you can handle all this?
Maybe.
Kip, do you want to see
Whatever
this as
you
bad
have
as
to
I do?
tell
It's gonna be
yourself.
really funny.
Listen, let me know.
I'm just saying I have a strong shot.
Let me know, Anarchy, if I'm going too hard on you, and I promise to pull back my game a little.
I'm very
Make some tea.
athletic.
Kip is walking into the kitchen.
I'm gonna watch this.
All right. First point wins. No 2 out of 3. All or nothing. All the beans for the
Fair
first
enough.
goal.
It
Fair
has been
enough.
a couple hundred years, so we'll see.
Oh, go ahead. Start making excuses now.
Kick his ass,
Game's
Anarchy!
on!
Okay, let's see here. I'm thinking to try and get the ball into your possession first.
And Anarchy's not afraid to body check a little bit.
All right, I like it. So both of you make a dexterity check for me.
Oh, dang. Oh, shit. I was hoping this would be athletics.
21.
So 17.
Lythander doesn't beat you by much to it. He does beat you to it to get the ball into his control. Now, Lythander, with the ball in your control, what is it that you're hoping to do on your turn?
He wants to try and just immediately swoosh it right into her goal. Since she's coming up right close to him, he figures this is a chance to one-shot wonder it.
And if this is a very quick encounter, Anarchy's gonna see if she can kind of elbow him forward to do a little slight, not quite a check,
Disadvantage.
but
All right.
push.
Both of you make an athletics check.
Nice.
That one.
Woo! This is a dirty 20.
It's a dirty 20. So, Anarchy, did you say you were willing to body check him?
No, it's a slight push forward, lean forward to get the ball.
All right.
Push up.
Not exactly a check.
So, but you want to push him a little?
Lean to get to steal.
Okay, so you're not trying to push
Elbows
him at all.
down. Elbows
Okay.
down. This clean checking.
Okay. Lythander, make a dexterity saving throw.
It's a clean legal check. Won't hurt anyone.
Very clean.
Dirty save.
Dexterity save, yep.
Dirty 20.
Beautiful.
this is
You
so
narrowly
competitive.
avoid falling into the crack that sits in the middle of this building, and you guys are trying to play hockey across the building with a huge crack down the middle and a bridge to use.
You know how it is.
You know. So you almost fall, but you're like, whoa, hey, that's a
Siblings will be siblings.
that's a 4. It's fine. It's not that bad. I wouldn't take damage from it or anything, but it's still there. And Anarchy, you now have the ball in your control.
She's gonna pivot around and take the shot on his net.
You're trying to pivot for a shot, and
Lythander would like to take his broom and try and dexterously push it between her broom and the ball to get it away from her.
All right, Lythander, make an acrobatics check. You to make an athletics check.
That is
Oh
not
my
proper
God.
form.
Come on! Ah!
Oof.
So it's 5. This is a slick
18.
game.
You swing your broom to try and shoot this ball, and Lythander's broom goes right between your broom and your feet and just pushes the ball further away from you, and it starts rolling away from the both of you into neutral territory.
We're
Like,
running
I want
for
to
it!
hop over
Run
Anarchy.
Okay. Well, Lythander, make an acrobatics check. Gina, make what you're running for it, Gina?
Yes.
Just roll a d20 for me. Tell me what you get.
Okay.
Snap, you're on a breakaway.
Oh, it's a 5.
Got a
You're
9.
Stuck tonight.
Beautiful. So, Lythander, you go to jump over Anarchy, who's running in the same direction as you. So you don't clear enough horizontal distance. You actually just come down on top of Anarchy.
Dear gosh.
Anarchy and Lythander make dexterity saving throws.
Dear goodness.
Oh god.
Please.
24.
24.
11.
11. Okay, so Anarchy, you are falling under the weight of Lythander jumping on top of you. Roll a percent for me, Anarchy.
64.
64. That's not
The
bad.
Nintendo.
That's
It's a
not
competitive
bad.
game. High stakes.
It
Pride is on the line.
It's a silly game, that's for sure.
We
You
need
do-
something to lighten up the stream.
Yeah, it's been
You
a
do
very
avoid-
happy episode.
You do not fall on top of Lythander's leg or anything. Lythander is able to successfully, with his dexterity saving throw, roll to the side and avoid getting his leg or foot or anything crushed under you as you fall because he landed on top of you. All right, so Lythander, you have now rolled. You have now rolled, and you did not roll into the crack.
Thank goodness.
Conveniently. Anarchy, you are also now down.
Okay, so Lythander's on the ground rolled.
Yes.
Is he closer to the ball than her?
No, you rolled to the side because it was.
Okay, but he's longer than her.
He is on.
So hopefully he can reach out with his broom and try and smack it over to the
Anarchy's
goal.
gonna use her legs to propel herself forward. And just kind of like from the ground, try to make a shot.
Lythander, make an athletics check with disadvantage. Gina, oh gosh, you're trying to. So you fell when he jumped on top of you. You're trying to like push yourself forward, basically to slide across the ground to try and do the same thing he's doing to hit the ball from the ground.
Yep. Kind of like a slight get up, not partial get up to make up for speed time.
Okay.
And like pushing the legs
Okay.
forward, using her leg strength, and
So
going.
you're kind of
boom.
scrambling a little, yeah. Make an athletics check with disadvantage.
16.
Okay. Advantage, dang.
Couple of good
Oh,
Yeah, 19 and a 16.
I got a
That's
19. So 16 as well.
You scramble and like push at each other and swing your brooms, and you both swing from opposite sides of the ball, and you hit the ball. The ball basically gets sandwiched between your brooms. Both of you make a strength check for me.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
15.
18.
Oh, no.
Anarchy, you hit the ball harder than Lythander does and push a little bit harder, which causes the ball actually, as the broom heads are at slight angles, to pop up into the air, kind of like when you pinch something and it just shoots up out of your fingers. It pops up in the air at an angle and bounces over the crack and rolls into the kitchen.
Lythander runs.
Ready to your feet to run? What are you doing, Anarchy?
Both running over the bridge. We fixed it.
Okay, both of you make. Gina, I'll let you do athletics. Lythander, I'll let you do acrobatics because you both have your own methods for how do I get to my feet the best.
18.
13.
Lythander is faster than you, Gina, jumping to his feet and scrambling over.
There. He's lanky. He's tall.
He's tall. But the two of you take your turn and go running. You go sprinting past Jim. Jim, what would you like to do? These two come running at you.
Turns out both are competitive.
I thought he said past him.
Well, they do have to go past you, but currently it's that moment where you're standing watching a show and the ball rolled past you into the kitchen and you look forward and they're both scrambling to
Oh shit! Jim gets up and starts sprinting, but he's going in the direction the ball went, unknowingly.
Okay, so you are now also running in that direction to get away.
The kitchen! Yes! Oh, the shenanigans.
So there is a moment where Kip looks over because from Kip's perspective, the ball rolled. Like, give me a sec.
I couldn't hear.
Can't breathe.
What happened?
From Kip's perspective, there is a moment when the ball comes rolling in and he looks down and says, I didn't think the kitchen was a goal. And he looks up to see Jim scrambling into the kitchen with this big look of like, oh shit, on his...
Yeah, Jim's just like...
behind by the stampede, which is Lythander and Anarchy with these brooms in their hands like madmen, trying to push at each other. Who's gonna get into the kitchen first? And Kip almost doesn't know how to process this fast enough because what the hell is stampeding into his kitchen? I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, my lungs.
9.
I feel that. Hey, Kip did better than you.
Oh,
One,
Oh,
dirty
no.
one.
7.
Wow, Kip actually did the best. My God. I mean, not that Kip does bad with dexterity, but like
This would
Kip
be a
actually jumps up
pile
onto the small table that they have in the kitchen to use as like a counter and stuff, so that way he's out of the way of you guys and grabs the pot that he has on the stove with water that he was using to make tea, grabs that and holds that in the air for when you guys inevitably come crashing in. And the three of you are tripping and rolling. You guys are the new ball, basically, and all three of you are just tangled together and rolling into the kitchen. You bump the stove. It's a little bit hot. It's because it's a wood-burning stove. You bump the stove, and the three of you are now a tangled mess with Anarchy, who is 500 pounds tangled into this with you. Each of you roll a d20 for me real quick.
Oh, God.
18.
Oh no.
5.
2.
Jim, you are at the bottom of this pile as it comes to a stop. Lythander, you're on top. How convenient. Anarchy, you're pinned in the middle, kind of stuck between Jim and Lythander.
Oh, my God, I'm sorry. Rapidly stands up.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
9.
You go falling off to the side. You bump into... Pick one even odd.
Odd.
Good. You roll off away from the stove. You do not roll towards the wood burning stove.
Did I win?
Maybe we should call this a truce.
Okay.
Minus the fact of having Anarchy fall onto me. That was a good time. I needed that.
Maybe next time we'll do this in an open space.
Yeah, we should
Okay.
do this outside. Ooh, or on like a big pond of ice.
Maybe we could do it on the festival.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think that's what the festival's about.
Well,
Fair enough.
either way, it's getting late, guys. I'm gonna hit the hay.
You're not injured, are you?
Nah, I'm fine.
No, both of you.
I'm okay. Getting himself up and brushing himself off. Just
Sorry,
a
I get
little-
really competitive.
So do I.
No kidding.
I like to win.
Oh,
Me too.
hey, Kip.
Yay!
Did you see the game?
Saw the end.
Ending of it.
Let's just say we both scored.
Yeah, that sounds good. We're both winners.
We both won.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yay, everyone's a winner.
Okay.
I'm going to bed. Jim goes into his cell and just flops into bed.
You flop into bed, and then 2 seconds later, there it is. The roof is leaking above your feet. Socks are wet.
Jim kicks off his socks. He'd rather just have his feet wet than his socks.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh. All right. All right. So you go to bed. Anarchy, Lythander?
Lythander stretches, glares at the stove, turns it off.
I'm using that.
What?
I'm using that.
This?
How did you turn off the wood burning? It's on fire.
He
Poured
blew it
water
out.
on it.
He went over and went.
Plenty of buckets full of water right now.
I was using that.
He grabbed it with his fingers like Shrek.
Suddenly not afraid of fire.
I
And he looks at the pot of water before just kind of letting out a slight breath. Need tea anyway. Setting the pot back down.
You can have my eggs. I have extra. Do I have extra?
I wasn't cooking. I was just making tea.
Well, Jim didn't eat your egg, your part of your eggs, and you made enough. So I'm sure you do.
I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Sorry about that.
So we've done a lot of silly songs with Jack, right? But it's time for silly songs with Kermit the Frog. Yay! So this is a little ditty that I like to call my invisible screen. I have a screen. The screen is green, just like me. It makes me invisible, so then I can hide from the lawyers. They want alimony checks and child support. So I hide with my screen. I stand by my screen, singing my song, waiting for the lawyers to go away. They seem to be looking at me, and I'm concerned. I'm running from the lawyers, and hopefully I get away. Yay! This has been Silly Songs with Kermit the Frog. Thank you so much.
All right. So you all.
Go do something.
Right. Okay. So Jim goes to bed. Lythander and Anarchy.
Lythander's gonna look over at Anarchy and Kip and say, "So this has been a day."
Yeah, a little bit.
I was wondering if we could all pool information.
That's a good idea.
So can you guys tell me about any of the events leading up to what happened?
Kip takes a seat on the table that he had jumped up onto. He's now sitting crisscross applesauce on top of this table.
Okay, monkey, calm down.
I'm sorry,
Supposed to be a
Lythander.
term of endearment.
So what
My
happened
little
was?
monkey.
Oh. Are you guys flirting right now?
No. Yes. Casual flirting. It's okay. You don't have to leave.
As
the room,
adorable
Anarchy.
this is, we are doing an
Yes.
information exchange.
Sorry.
Continue later, by all means.
Lythander winks at Kip.
Oh God. Make a charisma check for me. See just how charming this mink is.
Charisma. Just straight charisma?
Yeah.
Nice.
13.
Nice. Solid, above average.
It's an above average wink.
Above average wink. Kip kind of looks forward and just stares at the wall across from him for a couple of seconds, seeming to refocus himself on serious topic that we are about to be discussing. Pooling information.
So what happened was, the wall got boarded up for some reason on the east side, and the guards were panicked, saying, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And I said I could smash the wall, at least the bricks that were, loose. That hopefully it was recently done. They said yes, and they really wanted me to do it. I hit the wall. A lot of the wall came down, and earthquake. I'm sorry.
I think the coinciding of it is either coincidental or else by some sort of methods beyond Anarchy's simple hammer hitting the wall.
I'm pretty sure that's how most earthquakes work, yeah.
So I didn't cause it?
Concerned.
It's Anarchy. That's not your fault. Earthquakes happen,
Okay.
especially in areas like this. The ground's a lot softer, more malleable. I think earthquakes happen more in these kinds of areas.
I've never lived anywhere
Hey.
else to compare it.
Lythander
It's really
shrugs.
scary.
Oh, it's gonna be okay, Anarchy. I promise.
And then, well, there was a fire kind of shooting up into the sky.
Okay.
And we kind of assumed it was Jim. Because, he's the fire guy.
okay.
And it turned out the crack was splitting up. And we ran over to help him. And his foot was stuck in the crack.
Okay.
So, but then we realized this jail cell fell down, and Kip's grandma's over here. So, realizing that Jim was okay, and we could get him a little bit later, we rushed over, saved Kip's grandmother. I also used the potion that Kip gave us on his grandma.
Okay.
But she's okay, she's stable. And we brought her outside to be safe. Then we went to go save Jim. Then we went to go back to check on his grandma. And then some people from the west side, they came over to Kip and said, hey, we really need you. And I asked Kip, do you want me to stay with your grandmother? Do you want me to come with you? And I stayed with his grandma. And then all of a sudden, Kip shot.
Lythander looks over at Kip. What are their names?
Hedrick and Jeff. Why?
Well, I mean, like anybody's a suspect, right? And they were asking for you right before you got shot.
Nodding. To be
Uh,
fair, it should be taken into account. They were asking me to come over onto west side, and I was shot on the east side.
there were two people. And assassins tend to know how to work when things go off of a plan. Does Lythander know where Heck and Jeff lived from back when they were doing the, all the construction and help?
Make a percent check for me.
86.
Wow, amazing. I mean, those are two of the people that you remember meeting during all the construction.
Wonderful. Anything else?
Well, then we later went to investigate after you brought up the news and also fixed this place up. Kip can give you the info in regards to the investigation.
Body not there?
No, the body wasn't there. There was no sign of anything.
It's fine, that tends to happen.
What about you? What did you...
What about me?
Well, you said to share information? I was wondering if you happened to go off and seek it yourself. I was curious.
Yeah, I saw the guy die. He coughed his blood all over me. That's why I know it was poison.
Should probably wash that off of you. Were
That's
you
a good
walking around
idea.
East side covered in blood.
I mean, the leather armor's kind of worn from blood and other things. Not the first time it's seen blood.
Did we get to the stairs yet?
The stairs?
Oh, we had to pick the stairs upstairs.
Which, oh.
There's a lot that needs fixing in the house.
How is the house, structurally?
Oh, that's another thing. Kip was robbed.
Structurally, the house will stay standing.
How much were you robbed for?
It's priceless.
Well, shit.
A couple family heirlooms.
Xander will start
As well
reaching
as
into his
cash.
coin purse and he will pull out. Dude,
I know where I'm going to get money from.
it's. Well, I don't need this money anyway, and if anybody deserves this money, I think it's you. Not that it's a pleasant thought to think about, nor do I think life should have a
Let's get the couple of coins that have, blood on them still,
Not that I think that a life should have a monetary value, but apparently your head was worth 25 gold and 9 silver. Holding it out.
Taking the money.
If it makes it better, I think you're priceless.
Aww.
25 gold and 9 silver.
Well, Maybe they were trying to do a BOGO. Or 6 silver, sorry.
25 gold and 6 silver. 3 of it just disappeared.
Like I said, life doesn't have that kind of value, but all the same, you escaped death. There's your reward.
Shouldn't be a reward.
Well, nothing quite says fuck you quite like taking the money that was supposed to be your death money.
He counts out 5 of the silver before holding it out to Anarchy. Here.
Why are you giving me this?
You literally saved my life.
You literally give us hospitality. This is the least I can do. And it wasn't me, it was my goddess, technically.
We'll consider it a donation then.
I can't take this. You've just been robbed.
I will get money back. Don't worry about it.
Maybe consider giving me this after we find your stuff.
This is going to be plenty to put towards fixing up my house. And I have plenty of food. It's going to be fine. Besides, it's a good excuse to twist Xavier's arm into giving me money.
So is that your plan?
That might be the plan. Kip, I know I've got a rich friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
He's gonna give you 5 gold and Jim 5 gold, and he holds 5 gold out to Lythander as well. Seriously.
I don't want your blood money. No offense.
These 5 aren't covered in blood.
Well, that wasn't your blood.
Put my blood on it.
You could... Is there any... Never mind.
Are you sure
No,
you
not
want
about the putting your blood on it. I mean,
deal.
that was never an option.
Seriously, please take the 5. You've been extremely helpful, and you're
And
also
you
trying to
just
help with all of
got
this.
robbed. I'm not touching
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
Not
Actually,
here, we're-
take this back.
Oh my gosh.
Lythander looks at an Anarchy. I thought you said you needed 2 gold. Why don't you just give him back 3?
That's a good. No. But he got
Oh
robbed.
my gosh. I will be fine. I promise.
Doesn't every penny count?
I will be fine.
You know what? Okay, I'll take the 5 gold.
And the 5 gold to Lythander.
Anarchy, do you want to give him your 5 gold?
Here, just take the 3. How's that?
It's
Is
okay.
this compromise?
It's
'Cause
okay,
seriously-
Anarchy.
I'm also giving 5 to Jim.
Okay. It really was nothing.
Try being the one receiving that help.
Okay, fair enough, but you're worth it, you know?
Thanks. Kip seems a little
In my-
at loss for words of how to respond to what you just said.
In my opinion, your life is priceless.
Seems to be a lot of your life being priceless going around. And one person who thinks it's worth 25 gold and 6 silver.
Yeah, well, that person's wrong!
Maybe I should have some words with that person when we find out who they are.
Well, he's dead. There was another guy. If you hear anything about a J, be good to know.
No one
Ever.
named Jay.
Yeah,
Could
they
it
said
be
it's an
initial?
alias. They said it was an alias. It could be an initial. It could just be entirely made up. Lots of assassins go by aliases because they don't need to have any of their real identity tied with their work. It tends to run
Is
in
the
those.
assassin's name Jay?
The assassin was not, but somebody who goes by the alias of J is a dirty backstabber. Maybe Jacques. I don't know. Jacques starts with J.
I certainly hope it's not Jacques.
I
We're
should-
just becoming friends.
Well,
And he calls me Mon Petit Gem.
well, you know what they say. The devil always looks beautiful. Not to say that just because he's in a beauty shop.
Awkward moment.
But rather that many times evils are disguised with nice words and soft features.
Well, that would certainly be problematic considering, you know... By the way, did I ever tell you what the gold's for?
What gold is for?
Oh, you know, the one that I needed. With Jacques.
No, you never told me what you needed the gold for.
Okay, so early surprise. I realize I stick out like a sore thumb, kind of. I'm wearing old tattered clothes, and it was white robes, and I need something to fight in.
Okay.
And since we're fighting in the dark, I commissioned Jacques for some darker clothing to blend in, plus a hood.
Well, that's very nice.
And that way I can help out better.
To be fair, I don't know if this J person is against us in the sense that he was tying up loose ends by killing the assassin, or for us trying to kill the assassin before they killed you. I technically don't know which way his coin lands.
That's fair.
We should all head to bed.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
There is a knock at
Oh,
the
for
hole
fuck's
in the
sake.
wall. And Xavier,
I mean, Fudge. Fudge, sorry, guys.
Xavier
Can't
is
accidentally
poking
swipe
his
sword
head
today
in.
too.
Oh. It's gonna be okay, Anarchy. Why don't you
You
just put
too.
a gold in the no swearing jar? Lythander holds out his hand.
I'm not that young, you know.
Oh, sorry. Okay. He puts his hands in his pockets. Push Jim off the couch. Hey, dude, somebody's stopping by.
Kept on the bed in a
Oh,
cell.
well, push him out of the bed.
He's sleeping.
He runs over it to push him out of the bed.
What the hell was with that?
Xavier's stopping by. I think he wants you to stand up when he enters rooms.
Ah.
Xavier, who was just poking his head in, like, hey, Kip, looking over. Xavier watching you shove Jim off of the bed. Oh, wait.
Hi, Xavier. You are
No,
my
it's
witness.
Xavier.
Xavier, whenever I'm tired. If I call the cops or whatever, you're my witness for this
What?
elderly abuse, right?
You're in a jail cell with a cop.
I suppose that I am, but I'm not sure how much good it would do you. I think the cop also witnessed it. Glancing over.
This is bias.
Lythander makes like a fake little like cry me a river face, like turning his hands into fists and rubbing near his eyes.
Jim kind of playfully pushes Lythander.
Anarchy
Lythander
enters the room.
snickers.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, Xavier. What brings you here this evening?
Just came to see how Kip was doing.
He's stable.
Heard that he got shot.
Yes, he did.
I'm feeling fine. Glancing over. Xavier looking around. This place is a travesty. Thank you, Xavier. I hadn't noticed. When's the last time you cleaned? Before the earthquake.
We've been doing it all day.
The earthquake did all this?
Well,
And robbers.
Robbers? Oh yeah. Yeah, robbers. I remember.
That's how fast it was in one ear and out the other for Lythander.
Lythander is kind of triggered by the words of robbers and thieves. He was about to be like, I didn't rob anything.
He's like, excuse me, was it me? No, it wasn't. It not this time.
Not
It really
to
wasn't me.
You know that we had a problem with thieves moving through the city? Well, there have been some alleged reports on the east side about things going missing as of late. But no, nothing I was really giving much attention to.
Lythander whistles a merry tune.
You know, some missing cufflinks, some produce counts that were just a little bit off.
Some people's pockets that were mysteriously lighter after one game of Uno.
Oh, weird.
yeah, man. I don't know when that happened.
How much were you robbed for, Kip? Are you? This is the endless question today.
Did you know Kip's life was worth 25 gold and 6 silver?
Why would you ask
That's it?
that?
I know, right? That's what I thought.
Wait, were they all
At least
actually
70 or 80 gold.
Well, I was thinking at least 1,000.
I think it's priceless.
Well,
Why
he
are
is
we
only a
discussing this?
Because assassins are dicks.
Oh, we're talking about assassins.
So we're talking
Got
about
it.
like what is the like if a jerk was gonna kill somebody, regardless of like the fact that life is priceless, then what's the going rate? And I say Kip's worth at least 1,000.
Well,
Yeah, Kip's worth way more than
Well, half of the price
25
for an
gold.
most
assassin
people
is how
I've known to
difficult
kill
it is
did it
kill
for
the
free.
individual.
Okay,
Ooh,
yeah, that's
maybe he
true.
did such a bad job because he was a discount assassin. You know, like he's like, you know, he's trying
Lythander.
to keep up with the competition, so he has like, I don't know, March Madness sale. I don't know.
Xavier kind of raises an eyebrow slightly before humming. Do you have enough to get by? Looking at Kip. I have enough to get by.
I thought you said you were going to extort him for everything.
Everything was not the word that came out of my
I
mouth.
would have
You do
extorted him
need
for
money.
everything. Yes, he needs money. He's very poor. He's destitute. They're going to kick him out of his house in a week.
I just received blood money. 25
Actually,
gold and 6 silver.
Xavier, if I can ask you to keep
But
an
then
eye
he
on
gave
something-
away 15 of it.
I've only given away 10 so far. Pulling
gonna
out
give away
5
15.
gold.
Wait, you're giving away money?
Yes, I was going to. Oh my gosh. What is happening here? He holds out 5 gold to you, Jim. I would like to thank you for helping me earlier.
Oh, well, like, you've done so much for us. Like, I never say no to money, but at the same time, it
Just take the money.
thanks, Kip.
Lythander looks at
good guy.
Xavier. As you can tell, he's really bad with money management and could really
I'm
use
not
a help.
bad with money management. I'm for
He could
paying
really-
the individuals who saved my life.
He could really use help out of the hole he's dug himself in. He's already
actually-
given away
Oh,
15
wait, I gotta
gold
write-
pieces out of
I gotta-
25. That leaves him with 10.
I gotta write my new 5 gold.
And 6 silver.
Xavier? Actually, there's something I'd ask you to keep an eye out. He's been robbed of a lot of family heirlooms, belongings like that.
Let's see it. Family heirlooms.
Yeah, do you think you can keep an eye out for those?
Lythander's gonna leave because he's gonna go start checking out old stash holes. If there are heirlooms are easier to track.
Are you just gonna leave right now?
Yeah, he's
Alright.
just leaving.
Okay. There goes Lythander.
Well,
He seems.
Did we
Bye
notice him
again.
go?
Yes, he just left in front of everyone.
Yeah, he didn't even try to sneak. He just
Bye.
walked out. Bye.
don't mind him, Xavier. He comes and goes.
Please
as he
stay
pleases.
safe.
I will.
He's a strange kid.
He really should watch himself. If you guys stopped an assassination today, I imagine they're gonna regroup, and you guys probably have a price on your heads as well.
I'm going after Lythander. Bye.
Stick around right here for now. I know those kids can handle themselves better than I can, probably.
You sure
Yeah.
about that?
And if anyone comes, you know what? I'll go with them.
Plan.
Oh shit,
Bye.
Jim's still at half health. Still only has 11 health, which I guess
And
is his starting health. So
The idiot train
level
has pulled out of the prison. Choo choo.
Lythander, wait.
Kids,
I'm
get back
waiting.
here.
I'm walking so slow. My feet are in molasses.
Please don't make fun over my slow walking pace.
What? No,
Trying.
I just meant that I was slowing down until you caught up. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Wow, you guys are really easy to catch up with.
Lythander pushes Jim.
Don't push him.
Make a strength check.
Okay. Seriously,
serious.
assassination today?
No.
Oh.
15.
Yeah, no, that was a solid push. You know, push the old man.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna check out some back alleyways and suspicious areas.
know-
Don't mind.
There was an assassination today. Seriously, do you want a bodyguard?
No, I tend to be fine. Look, it's not the
Yeah,
first
I'm not
time I've
taking
met
no
an
for an
assassin.
answer.
For once, we really,
Except for last
you
year.
really can't be running off right now.
This wasn't a question.
We're coming with you.
Okay. Come on, guys. Try not to dilly-dally.
Yes, Team
No
Fisher.
dillying for you, pointing at Anarchy, and no dallying for you, pointing at Jim.
Since when do I dally?
Since when do I dally?
I know you two.
Well, yeah, she's definitely a dillier.
Alright, Lythander is going to be leading this group of intrepid adventurers around the, around all the good drop points.
All right. Since you spent some time earlier today walking around looking for like thieves' cannons, if you actually know where the decent drop points are right now in the city, different holes in the wall that have been left mostly covered up, where people could stash something if they were looking to not be caught with it on their person. And you are starting to look through things. I need 3% checks for you.
Percent?
Yes.
97, 60, and 95. No, 59. I lied.
The first one, as you're walking around, you do find a very nice looking headband that has a large floral piece. The floral piece that's on the top right of the headband in the center has what appears to be some sort of emerald sitting in it. And the gold headband itself is about 1 inch wide and has very nice filigree carved into it.
Well, that looks important.
That looks pretty.
Lythander hums and just kind of puts it in his backpack. Finders keepers, losers weepers. He puts the brick back.
Wait, how do you know that wasn't one of the heirlooms?
I mean, it could be.
Lythander's shoulders slowly drop. I guess it could be.
Yeah, we have no idea what these things look like. They could be
But
literally
if it's
any.
not one of the heirlooms, and
I mean,
okay, well, we will turn everything in that we find.
Yeah.
fair enough.
And we keep walking.
Oh, by the way, Lythander, I have a question.
Yeah?
If it starts getting too dark, I can give you the night vision for an hour. Remember that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, if we struggle to find things, I know a guy. I met a guy on the west side. He knows a lot of things.
Sure. If somebody's gonna know somebody's stashing something away, it'd probably be a guy on the west side.
Oh yeah, homeless Jim knows everything that happens in Craven.
Nothing else from the other 2%?
Nope.
Okay. Then we're heading over to west side.
You guys are now heading over to west side. It is dark now. It is solidly
I'll take
night.
that dark vision.
Do you guys think we should bug him in the morning or?
No.
Okay.
All right, dark vision it is.
Thank you.
And she gives him dark vision.
So we have an hour left of this.
You guys are walking around at night now over to the west side. You go find homeless Tim. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yep.
Roll a percent for me.
Everyone?
No, one person for the team. Whoever you want to do it.
I'll do it.
Homeless Tim.
Come on, Jack.
Homeless Tim.
Come on, homeless
Homeless Tim. Appear, homeless Tim.
34.
You do not find homeless Tim.
Homeless Tim.
Okay. Well,
Timmy boy.
homeless Tim.
I got money.
I have old
Homeless
rations
people like
that have been in
money.
the ocean for 100 years.
I have fresh rations.
One of these is significantly more tempting than the other.
I'm your good buddy Jim, who you shared a bunch of funny ideas with.
A
Wait, what
window
kind of
gets
ideas?
thrown open on the building near you. People are
You
sleeping.
know where homeless Tim is?
Oh, sorry.
What day of the week is it?
It's Sunday.
Yeah. He sleeps behind the glass blowers on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
But
You have a
go
good
on
night,
the
eh?
streets like lunatics.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's an emergency.
An emergency? Someone hurt?
No.
Nah.
We lost our coin purse. Bye.
Oh, that's good luck.
Thanks.
I closed their window. Oh gosh. You guys head down to the glass blowers that Jim knows where that is.
Yeah,
So on the way there, Jim's just like,
yeah, so basically, you know, he said he'll fill in the hole on the other side of the wall as if he
Wait,
could do
what?
that.
The hole
What
in
a
that
riot.
Jim.
Yeah.
The hole in that wall was filled.
Well, there's no way he
The
did
hole
it.
I smashed down.
I doubt he has
and
the
then
resources
the
to pull
earthquake
that off.
happened.
I'm sure he has the resources to get the people who have the resources to go do it.
Oh yeah, everyone loves homeless Tim. I mean, everyone loves him. Like, he's a riot. But yeah, he definitely did it bad.
You get behind the glass blowers, and sure enough, there is a pile of an individual that seems to be sleeping with lots of coats and like stuff pulled around them. They've made themselves pretty comfortable back here. Actually, seems like they have a pillow too.
What's up, homeless Tim?
Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Kind of snorts slightly and blinks a little blearily, looking up at you guys. Hey,
How's it going, buddy?
You know who broke into Kip's place and stole from him?
time is it?
It's time for rations if you want them.
It's the middle of the night.
Don't want a ration?
You guys start working the charity cases?
No.
Take food. Food's food.
Lythander will toss him a ration.
He's now sitting up. You have his attention. He's opening it and eating.
Do you know who broke into Kip's place?
Broke into Kip's place. Oh.
Come on, Timmy boy.
Well, no, I saw person covered in all black cloth.
See where they go?
They ran out into the swamp.
Into the swamp.
To the swamp.
Yay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go out into the swamp.
Hold on.
Whoa. This
There are all kinds of markings that'll be on trees. It won't
And
be
there's a
that
lot of
hard.
monsters out there. Swampies.
I'm
And I
not-
have one heal spell left.
I'm not scared of the swampies. I can outrun them.
We're all coming with you.
Wait, maybe we should do this in the morning or
It's probably
Morning's
sounds like a
the
nice
best
job.
time to do anything. Nothing good happens after 3 a.m.
Well, it's not past 3 a.m. yet.
Besides, there's lots of activity out in the swamp at night.
Which
Yeah.
direction? Which path did he go down?
He went that way.
That way. Thank you.
all
All
right.
right, tomorrow it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have a good sleep, eh, buddy?
You guys want more information?
Sure.
Wait, you got more?
money?
I have 4 copper.
Take that.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, shit that you guys aren't real good police officers. I mean, when Kip comes around, he starts asking stuff like silhouettes, what they looked like, if they made any sounds at all. They were short, they were stout, they're kind of really wide in the middle.
Is that the description of the silhouette?
Yeah, seemed like a dude. Didn't have much of a
Short,
chest.
wide in the middle.
Yeah.
Huh. So they kind of looked like me.
But short.
Huh.
Ain't
like
short.
Yeah, I'm
You're taller
No.
than me.
for
Mhm.
half elf, you know, I'm pretty
You're-
sure.
Ooh, were they taller than me?
Yearly.
They're taller than you. It moved kind of weirdly fast.
Hmm.
And like, I'm pretty sure they moved so fast that the ground smoked behind them.
Ooh, fire.
No, it was probably just somebody throwing a smoke bomb or something for obfuscation.
And not much smoke.
Oh.
The
Then
ground just smoked behind their feet.
Lythander, I have an
maybe you're a
idea.
little high. What?
Can I talk to you in quiet place?
You got any more food?
Sure. He tosses him another ration. This should last you 2 days.
Much obliged.
Yep.
You guys are all right in my book. I don't care what other people say. I don't care about the fact that
Also
Hendrik hates
here.
you guys.
He tosses you a
Wait,
small
who hates
bag.
us?
What's this? Taking it?
Are you open it? It's the guard cufflinks.
Oh, who hates us?
Hendrik?
Oh, Hedrick.
I mean, he hates Kip. I didn't know secret.
That's
I
fine.
guess
Thanks.
my
Good
head's
night.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, buddy. We'll have to get drinks sometime. I'll
Good
treat.
luck. I'll take you up on that anytime, any place.
I love that guy, Homeless Tim. He's the
Oh, we
best.
should all go to
Oh,
bed. Lythander,
Lythander, wait.
Oh, what?
My plan.
Yes.
So sorry, I got a little wiped out today after Kip,
Oh, it's fine.
but I do have an idea. If I get some good rest tonight, and if Kip can describe the object accurately and I draw it out, I might be able to cast a spell that can locate the object if it's relatively close in the area.
Okay.
That might help.
Yes, that would really help.
Okay,
Okay.
hopefully that works.
Well, let's head on back. Because I am tired.
Same
So
here.
tired. Real tired. Let's go back.
I guess we're heading
Lythander's
back.
leading the way back.
Actually,
That's
this
okay.
plan's not gonna work. Sorry about that.
That's fine. We'll find it. Don't worry.
I had
You
to
guys head
reveal my
back to Kip's
knowledge.
place then?
Yep. Lythander's planning to get back. Talk to Kip briefly about whether or not Kip ever owned a headband.
Kip and Xavier are sitting and having tea right now.
Oh.
They Both look over at you as you walk in, though.
Hi. We're all very tired. Glad to know you got your tea going again. After all the water.
Hey, Xavier, you wouldn't be offended if I just went, like, right to bed. It's been a really long day.
No. Have a good night.
You too. Night.
Jim goes back to his cell and just flops in the bed again.
Were any of your old family relics a headband?
No, it's in the list of missing objects, though. It was reported missing by one Anastasia in East Craven about 2 years ago.
That's a pretty
Well,
name.
she's probably not looking for it now, right?
Apprehended the thief, never found out the location. I assume you found it. Obviously.
Lythander holds it out.
Jim shouts from his bedroom, from his cell.
He found it.
Gee, thanks a lot, man.
No problem. Just helping
course you found
justice.
Kip takes it. There is a reward on this item.
Not as much as the item's worth.
Never is.
Grumbling to himself, I'm going to bed.
Good night, Kip. Rest
Night.
well.
Night, Anarchy.
Sliding back, but how much is the reward? I'll take that.
I'll have to get that for you.
He holds his hands out to Xavier. I only take cash, not
Titles
credit.
to me. Xavier seems a little indignant towards you shoving your hands at him. Your filthy commoner hands.
He gives big puppy dog eyes.
Make your charisma check.
13.
He doesn't seem bought over by your puppy dog eyes.
Pout
fact,
the
his
lips
nose
out.
goes a little
Super
bit
hot.
up higher.
Super, super out. Do the down upward so it looks more like begging.
So the puppy dog pet from Kim Possible.
He'll stare down his nose at you for a little bit before just sighing slightly. Do not walk around with 100 gold on me. I'm not looking to be robbed. I can pay you tomorrow. Yes, I do not walk around with a pocket full of platinum on me. It's asking for a pickpocket. It's trouble.
I'm poor and destitute. I can't even afford my own place.
Anarchy's already starting her meditation, by the way.
Yes, you're fortunate Kip is tolerant. Pulling out his coin purse and opening it up, looking through it for a bit before just out dumping his coin purse contents into your hands, which is he currently has 27 gold and 7 silver in it.
No, it's okay. I'll wait for you to go.
No.
I'm sorry.
I think I was
wait.
lying that I don't carry 100 gold with me.
I was just pulling your leg a little. I'm
Dumping it
sorry.
back into his coin purse.
I'm gonna hit the hay now.
I can pay you tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Cool. Lythander will go into his cell and he's gonna wait for everybody else to be gone. Asleep.
Anarchy's
When each
meditating in
of
a cell
you-
nearby. She's awake.
When each of you goes into your cells,
Oh.
you do see that stacked on your bed is just not stacked. Resting on each of your pillows is a platinum piece.
Oh my.
Whoa.
What's this for?
Money.
Xavier stands up as you are all going to your cells. Like, I should probably be heading out then. I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right, Kip. Kip gives a nod. And Xavier turns and leaves.
Oh, he's a sweet guy after all.
Anarchy, before bed, she's reaching into her bag and she's pulling out what appears to be a prayer wheel. She hugs it for a second, says, "Thank you so much," and kind of meditates tonight with the prayer wheel in her hands.
Lythander will be slipping over to her room pretty early on in the night. Not normally when he slips over to her room. He slips over pretty early to sit down next to her.
You trying to sneak?
No, because Jim's pretty knocked out.
So you just go over into Anarchy's room where Anarchy is not asleep yet. She's only still meditating.
Yep. Sit down next to her. Reach out and hold her holy symbol.
By the way,
Yeah.
I want to say, one, I'm sorry for yelling at you early today. You really did not deserve that.
I didn't even know you yelled at me. I'm sorry.
I was a little panicked when I was healing.
Well,
and-
it's okay.
Two,
No.
I also want to say thank you for putting your trust in me lately. And because of that, I was wondering, I think it'd be fair if I put my trust in you with some things.
Oh, okay.
No big deal. I was thinking, would you like to hear A scandalous anarchy story?
Sure. I'd love to.
Okay, you think Kip's asleep?
Yeah, I think Kip's asleep.
Okay, good.
He's had a long
'cause
day.
This is... Don't tell Kip.
I won't tell Kip.
Good. Okay, see this thing in my hand?
Yes.
Okay, so... See the words written on it? Well, it's not really word. It looks like scribble.
Yeah, I don't know what that says.
That's the song I was singing today. It saves Kip's life.
Aw.
Yeah.
Where's the scandal?
Well, no, that's the scandal.
Okay.
This was one of the scrolls that my sister found. You see, well, when I was growing up, we had a very, very strict code how to learn about the goddess Lune. And, well, we weren't allowed to learn other teachings. My sister got fed up one day, and on a night in the town, she was a priest, and she was a trained cleric in training, and she got to go out. I never got to leave the temple, but she did. And she was looking for information about the goddess Lune. And she maybe... I know this is wrong, but please don't kill Kip. This is stolen.
Sure. I would always use the word acquired.
Stolen. She maybe stole scrolls. A lot of scrolls, prayer wheels, etc., etc., etc. Bring them back, and she would teach me these teachings of Selene. We were curious, and I know we should return them, but we were curious and we were fascinated, and I know it's wrong, and I'm a cleric, and
I'm pretty sure Selene wants people worshipping her correctly.
I don't know if this is correctly, that's the thing, but it seemed to work today very well. And man, I wish we had others, but at one point our church found out, and they burned them all, but Amar hid this one and gave it to me before we parted for the last time. It means a lot to me. Anyway, that's my scandalous anarchy story. Yeah.
I gotta tell you a scandalous Lythander story in turn. Oh gosh. What is the most scandalous thing I can tell you?
Most scandalous thing.
So when I used to do things in the city for my dad.
Okay.
We were fishers. That's why my last name's Fisher. You know, you get your surname as whatever you do as a job.
And my first name is Teokerkir, which means moonblade gem. Fun facts. Some people just say TK. TK Ayaki.
Alright, TK Ayaki.
Wait, you said my name.
Yeah?
You can say my name. You can say my name.
That's
We can't go
the
around.
That's the scandal.
We can't go around talking about the things that I can and can't say.
Or the things
you
that I
say
can
it?
and can't do.
Can you
Know
say
that.
How
Teokerkir?
well I'm learning how to do them.
What was it?
Teokerkir.
Wait, no, I heard Teru.
Teokerkir.
K. Teru Kerem. Kier. Teru
Hey.
Kerem Kier.
Not bad.
Thank you. I'm gonna say Taro from now on.
Or just say TK. Most people
I
say
won't be doing that
TK.
in public.
But personally, I think anarchy is growing on me.
Anarchy, good, because I kind of like calling it Anarchy. It's got a nice ring to it.
Thanks.
All right, big scandal.
Yes.
So my dad entrusted me to take all of the fish that we fished up in the week, and I was supposed to take it to the city to sell it, because Dad said I had a good selling face.
You do.
Thank you. I always tried, to be very pleasant for other people.
Mhm.
But I never really liked selling fish, so when I was in the city, I found a different job.
Oh?
And yeah, of course, my dad didn't want me working any other jobs than selling the fish, because obviously, we went out and we fished for a week. We'd like to sell the fish. But the job that I got in the city was way more lucrative. So instead of selling the fish, I kind of gave them away for free.
That's so nice. That's not scandalous. It's really nice.
My dad would have killed me if he knew I was just giving away our fish.
May hurt the money a little bit, but it's really nice.
Laughing. Well, you know. Anyways, I gotta pray.
Oh, wait, before you do that,
Okay.
do you know what? I want to tell you one more thing. What the words on this mean. The prayer.
Sure.
I think you might like it. So, what it translates to: light clears the darkness. Light holds love, or like beloved family members and stuff. You see, Itai is kind of weird to translate, but that's a story for another night. And the last phrase is: a soul lost in darkness can't give light.
A soul lost in darkness, huh?
Yeah, like it's that's why Amara, my sister who stole this, that's why we like this so much, this particular scroll. It was a reminder saying those, even if they've done wrong or they were lost and don't know where they're going, there's still hope that they can give light and be good people and they can find their ways home.
Lythander
like
rubs
that.
his arm. I like that thought.
Yeah. It's nice to know the spell worked. Or the prayer did.
Yeah. I should
Okay.
pray.
Yes.
Dear Salune. You start dear, right? I've always started dear.
You can start however you want.
Okay. Dear Salune. I'm not sorry. Please don't hurt anyone else. For anything that's about to happen.
I can get by that.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Alright, I'm heading to bed.
Okay, good night.
Lythander will be off,
He's
and
trying.
now he will be trying to wait for everyone to be asleep.
All right, you're waiting. No, and everybody else going to sleep for the night?
Jim's been asleep for a while.
Well, yeah, Jim.
I want to give him an opportunity to sleep, but oh my god. Actually, Anarchy's gonna sleep tonight because she kind of got wiped out with the healing today, so
I think she needs to.
she needs to. Let's do it.
All right.
We'll give him the opportunity.
Alright. Lythander isn't switching out entirely out of all of his clothes, but what he is doing is he's putting on his dark clothes with the hood, but he's taking Jacques' top, so that way he can cover his face up.
All right.
And he's going to be heading out to Hendrix.
You're heading up to Hendrick?
Hendrix.
Oh, no.
Hendrick or Hedrick?
It is Hedrick.
It's Hedrick. I thought so.
It's Hedrick.
Oh man, you're heading out to Hedrick's on the west side. So you are currently sneaking out. Roll a stealth check for me.
9, 10, 11.
And Anarchy and Jim make perception checks. Oh,
This will be interesting.
it's on you like flies on
Oh,
honey.
he got
man.
lucky tonight.
7.
Not so.
Oh, hang on, where's mine? 7 as well. Anarchy,
7
I'm
and 7?
Lythander, you lucky duck.
All right. As you're leaving, you hear your jail cell for whatever reason. It must be from the rain and the shifting of the foundation. As you swear you didn't notice it when you came into bed, but as you're opening it, so it just. And after a second, Kip pokes his head out of his room a little. Like his hair is kind of messed up. He was clearly mostly asleep.
It's those
gonna-
new repairs.
Getting water. Sorry to disturb.
Good night.
You too.
He closes his door again.
Okay, now we're gonna try and leave out the front door.
Well, you had to open your cell door to leave your cell. so
Yes,
yeah,
now we're
okay.
trying to go to the front door and open that
Okay,
one.
make a sneak check.
God. There we go. That was a little bit better. That's a dirty 20.
So you sneak out. Anarchy, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
So this is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, beautiful. So, the long rest is happening for two of you. One of you is severely hurting their chances of getting a long rest. That will be decided next session. But Anarchy, something for you to think about going into next week. As you were sleeping, again, you don't really get to dream, but you have to imagine this is what dreaming is, because you feel like you're standing somewhere, not in the prison cell where you were previously when you did your meditating and everything. Rather, you're not standing on anything at all. You look down, you look around, you're surrounded by celestial bodies. You feel like you're standing in a very wide open or just floating in space. You can see the moon, very large, in front of you.
Lune?
And you hear voices. It sounds like multiple voices laying over each other, some of which sound very beautiful and clear, and others of which send a chill down your spine.
Was this all a test? Is it over now? I don't want it to be over yet. I'm sorry, but if you need me, I will be by your side, of course.
Make a perception check.
So this is 23.
You're aware as you are floating here that the chill that went down your spine when you first heard those original couple of voices that put you a little on edge hasn't gone away. It's a feeling that's sitting in the pit of your stomach of some sort of foreboding, and you're aware now as you're studying your surroundings that various stars that are surrounding you in multitudes are disappearing and then reappearing, almost as if something that's as black as the sky that's around them is moving and obstructing them from view, but you can't really make out its silhouette because it blends in with the rest of the nothingness surrounding the stars.
Who's there? Where are you taking the stars?
It moves in a manner that's very fluid-like and circles around you.
Does she have her hammer in her dream?
She does not have her hammer in her dream.
She kind of tries to reach for it, realizes it's not there.
It doesn't seem to be in reach. It definitely seems to be relatively far away, but it is growing. Larger and larger chunks of the stars seem to be disappearing before they reappear as it's no longer obstructing them from view while it moves around you, until eventually you are keenly aware that as it is circling you, some stars are going out and they're not relighting.
Start singing that song again.
As you start singing and meditating and focusing in, the voices start to get a little louder as if they're reverberating inside of your head itself before everything goes perfectly silent. And then through the silence you hear in a very crystal clear manner, "You need to prepare. They're coming."
Okay.
And that's where we'll call it. Alright guys, say goodnight to everyone.
Bye, everyone!
Yeah, everyone. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in!
Don't let the swappies fight!